Welcome back to Man Down Sports. As you can see from the thumbnail, Jalen Rose had some things to say that caught the attention of Shannon Sharp and Joe Johnson and Ocho on Nightcap, and they responded. But what Jalen Rose had to say was pretty much is a bunch of LeBron goblins on in mainstream media, and that makes the NBA coverage a little weak and a little watered down. So we're gonna talk about it, but this is a full show today. This is a full show. Go ahead and hit the like button and go ahead and hit that share button. Get a lot of people in here. If you're not getting the notifications, make sure you're sharing it. Leave a comment in here so I can know who up in here with me, especially my moderators. What's up, Greg Anderson? Long time no see, homie. Soprano, what's good? Salute, salute, salute. Let everybody get in here. Yeah, we got multiple things to talk about, man. We got a lot of NBA topics. We even got some WNBA topics, man. It's gonna be an interesting show with call-ins. I hope y'all ready to call in. I hope y'all ready to have these comments on fire in the chat. All of that stuff, man. It's been a while since we sat down and had these type of talks. We're gonna have these type of talks today. Yeah, shout out to everybody that's in the comment section already. Hit the like button, hit the share button, and hit that hype as well. That helps out the channel. Also, what helps us out, especially during football season, if y'all go over to Man Down Sports Football channel, just type in Man Down Sports Football. Head over there, subscribe to us over there, man. We're going to be giving y'all the same type of content for football as we always give y'all for WNBA and NBA over here on this channel. So go check that out. Before we get started, here's a word from the sponsor. Underdog Fantasy is the best place to play fantasy sports. I want to tell you about the easiest way to get in on some NBA action with Underdog Fantasy and their pick'em game. Just find your favorite player, or any player for that matter, pick higher or lower on that player's stats, and you can win up to 20 times your money in one night. Pick between 2 or 5 players to fill your pick'em entry. Get every pick right, and you can net yourself some serious cash. Use the promo code Man Down Sports and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Plus, now that it's football season, you can follow Man Down Sports as we reveal our favorite picks from week to week. Like I said before, pick your favorite player, pick higher or lower, choose your dollar amount, and win some money. It's just that easy. Make picks, win money. We also want to thank Underdog Fantasy for partnering with us, and we want to thank you for helping the channel out by using Man Down Sports on Underdog Fantasy. All right, man. Like I said, hit the like button, hit the hype button, hit the share button, leave comments, let me know who in the house. But just to get started on this thing, we'll jump right into it. Jalen Rose. I don't know if this was X, Twitter, IG, wherever the case may be, but he made the comment and he basically said the NBA coverage has become so weak. It's now led by men and women who didn't play. Right. So that's one part of it. Men and women that didn't play. Right. Okay, cool. Like, you might be talking about Windhorse, guys like that, Nick Wright, obvious nerds that didn't hoop. Just obviously, right? And it's room for them in the space as well. But is it room for them to be so critical the way they are and be such an authority figure with their voice and with their platform? I think that's what kind of makes it weak when you don't have that counterbalance of people like Jalen Rose or people like I wouldn't even say Jay Will, because he's just shown that he just can't keep it 100 and be always real. But someone who can keep it 100, be always real, someone who made their money, who is not afraid to say things that might get them fired, like Ryan Clark did this year. So you got Jalen Rose, you got Charles Barkley, you got Kenny Smith, you got Shaq. These are made men, made their money, unapologetic about what they say, and not afraid. Like even Jim Jackson, I seen him go at it with Nick Wright and all these dudes about Kobe. Like, that's needed in the space, right? So you can kind of get to what Jalen Rose is coming from, right? Is led by men and women who didn't play. It involves men and women that didn't play. It's been led by men and women. You got to listen to read the words for what they are. He's saying it's been led. The conversations are being led by men and women that didn't play. It's being led by men and women that didn't play. And then he says, or it's LeBron stands. So the ones that did play, it's just a LeBron stand. So you got the Kendrick Perkins and Kendrick Perkins is all over the place. Channing Frye's all over the place. Richard Jefferson is everywhere. He's announcing games. He got 3 or 4 different podcasts. He's just doing so much. You know, JJ Redick was one of the guys, was a LeBron goblin when he was announcing. Nick Wright, Chris Broussard, Shannon Sharp. Like, it's just full of people that's just not going to hold LeBron, Clutch Sports, Rich Paul, and nobody associated with them accountable. And I don't want to say accountable. Just be honest about what's really what. So he said LeBron stands and LeBron former teammates. So I think the main point that he's making is that you just don't have real talk no more. The real talk is just not there because the guys who aren't made men like Wayne Horse and Nick Wright that are not former players, first and foremost, like, you have no authority in what you're talking about, especially when you're very critical, right? It's one thing to be a student of the game and have respect for the game and the players that dominate the game, or players that just play the game in general, like, to have respect for them. Right. You know, I don't think Nick Wright has a lot of respect for the game itself, the players. He don't value what they put in to get to where they at. Like, I mean, the way he would talk about a person like Jordan, like, he would talk about Jordan and Kobe like they ain't shit in this basketball space. Like, we let a nerd that didn't play get up on national TV and say some of the things he said. And first of all, and most of them be straight up lies. And I'm like, dude, that's not entertaining. Like, that's highly offensive to people. You know, I mean, that's very offensive. It kind of reminds me of that time when Stephen A. Smith tried to, I don't know if it was UFC or boxing. It might have been UFC. He tried to, he's tried to do both. But I think ESPN was trying to figure out, man, we done paid this coon so much money. Let's get our money's worth. So that was just throwing Stephen A. Smith all over the place, and they had him doing some boxing events, some UFC, and he just didn't know what he was talking about. And he got laughed up out of it, like, not even laughed up out of there. Like, Joe Rogan and some other guys was just like, dude, you can't say this about. He basically said someone quit in a UFC match that you know, that pretty much, I mean, he said he quit, dog. Them some tough dudes with a lot of pride, right? But anyway, that's a whole nother thing. But it reminds me of that, the way Nick Wright talk about these ball players, right? So you got those guys who didn't play, who are very and too outspoken and too critical of how they speak about certain players, and flat out will lie, and then have hitched their wagon to one group of players or one entity or one player or another. Like, Nick Wright has hitched his wagon to LeBron. Now he's trying to hitch it to Luka, but he's hitched his wagon to LeBron, made a career out of it, and that's where he's riding. And you know, that's his grift. That's his grift. So you're not just going to you're not going to get the real from him. And then Clutch Sports is signing people like Nick Wright and Chris Broussard, and now they with Clutch Sports, so now they LeBron guys. And then you got the former players who are LeBron guys. Either they with Clutch Sports or the Rich Paul is feeding them information, or they just got a friendship for LeBron, and they just can't be real. And I'm like, man, like, I think the people that watch the game, I think they deserve a little bit better than that, right? And this is what Jalen Rose is saying. But I want y'all to hear how Shannon Sharp and Joe Johnson and them talked about this as a response to what Jalen Rose said. And for those who you just joining, I put it back on screen just to kind of remind you. He said the NBA coverage has become so weak, it's now led by men and women who didn't play or LeBron stands and former teammates. They know what Jalen Rose is saying is gospel, and they really don't have no comeback for it. So I want you to listen to how they responded to this, because basically what they did was they just ignored the second part about these guys being LeBron stands and former teammates. The whole point of Jalen Rose even pointing this out is because people just can't be honest about certain things that have any connection with LeBron. If you're talking about Jordan, Kobe, Kareem, and the GOAT debate, these guys that are LeBron stans and LeBron former teammates, and the guys who didn't play, who hitched their wagon to Clutch Sports and LeBron, they like LeBron wouldn't even be the topic of discussion. You could be talking about Michael Jordan or Kobe, and they couldn't be honest and genuine about it because what they say might hurt the GOAT case for LeBron. So they will slight, or they will navigate the conversation a certain way just because they know if I say X, Y, and Z, this will hurt LeBron. So they all their narration about what they say, if it has any connection, they can get back to LeBron some type of way. They have to approach how they say things that way. I can't hurt LeBron when I say this. And you're just not getting the real no more. You're not getting the real. But listen to how Shannon and them cover this.
Hey, Jalen Rose also has some thoughts. He said NBA coverage has become so weak, is now led by men, women who didn't play or LeBron stans former teammates. Mm-hmm. Joe, what's your take?
He said that the take on, say it again.
He says NBA coverage has become so weak, is now led by men, women who didn't play or LeBron stans or former teammates.
Nah, I think it is some of his former teammates, but you got a lot of ex-professional basketball players who's played the game at a high level, who's won championships, who's won championships with LeBron, and they know what it takes to get to the top. So, you know, they got their breakdowns and critiques of, you know, the game just as well as anybody else, bro. You know what I mean? I don't think it's a bad thing because you ain't played the game, you can't commentate the game, or you ain't. If you got knowledge of the game, you know what I'm saying, and you know what the eye test tells you. You know what I mean? You done your homework on the game. I don't see nothing wrong with that, bro. So, but maybe he looking through a different lens, Uncle Ocho.
Some of the best coaches, some of the best people to analyze games weren't your best players.
All right, so let's stop there. Now, Joe Johnson kind of touched on it. He did mention that point that he made about being LeBron teammates, but Joe Johnson is like, hey man, they know what they're talking about too. All right, but you're missing the point. You know what Jalen Rose is saying. Y'all being dumb on purpose. You know what he's saying. He's saying we can't even be real and honest about certain things because the whole media is just built on LeBron people and Clutch Sports people and people who just don't have no backbone, so they go with the crowd anyway. If we got half or majority of the people there's Clutch Sports clients or LeBron apologists, and then you got the other people that's spineless, like Nick Wright, Chris Broussard. They just go with the flow. It's only really one person that's in mainstream that's really going against the grain, and that's Rick Bucher. There's Rick Bucher, and there's one other guy that I can't remember his name, but he gets invited on Nick Wright's show every now and then. I think he's been on Carlton's show. I forgot his first name. But he reminds you of Nick Wright. He's like the low budget Nick Wright, but he's just the opposite, right? Him and Rick Bucher are really the only ones. But everyone else is just straight LeBron. Even Stephen A. Smith and Chris Broussard, even though they will say, yeah, we Jordan at number one, like, Jordan's the GOAT to me. They put LeBron right there at number two. Like, like that's the least they can do is say, okay, you're number two. Like I can go as far as saying you're number two behind Jordan. And I got all of these reasons why Kobe can't be up there. Right. So they draw the line at Jordan. Now I can't put you past Jordan. I'll put you at two. I'll put you past Kobe and Magic and Bird and Kareem. I'll put you all past all them people, but I can't put you past Michael Jordan because Stephen A. Smith and Michael Jordan are friends, just like him and Magic Johnson are friends. He got a loyalty to Michael. So that's where he's at with it. I draw the line at Michael Jordan. But, LeBron, I put you at two, and I don't think he belonged at two anyway. But Shannon Sharp, he did totally different with Joe Johnson tried to touch a little bit on what the point is, but they're missing the point on purpose. And Shannon Sharp went way left with the point, talking about you don't have to play in the league to know what you're talking about. Yeah, we all know that, but that you can tell by the way Jalen Rose wrote this and when he wrote it around the same time that LeBron made his decision to go to Philly, and he probably sat and watched all these people glaze and not be honest about what the move really was and all that stuff. You can tell why Jalen Rose put this out. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know this is pretty much aimed at how the media has been as far as kissing LeBron's butt and not being real and not being honest. That's what he's saying. I was up there being 100% real and telling you why LeBron isn't this or that, or why this player isn't this or that. Like nobody can even be honest about Luka, Jokic, none of that stuff. Like, they're just moving people out of there that just have a different opinion about the people that they want to push or the people they have an agenda for. They're doing it in the WNBA now. Like you got people really calling for people to get fired. Like they want Stephanie White to be fired because they're not, in line with pushing the Caitlyn agenda. They want the commissioner to be fired because she won't punish people that foul Caitlin Clark. They want Monica McNutt fired. They want Nashea Gumake fired. They want Andrea Carter fired. They want everyone fired that's not going with the flow of Caitlin Clark. And that's what I guess at some point happened with LeBron. I mean, the people that used to argue for Kobe got pushed up out of ESPN. Jim Jackson up out of there, Jalen Rose up out of there. Like it's not a safe thing to be for Kobe on the 4-letter network. But listen to how Shannon Sharp just ignores the point and don't even touch the fact that the media is full of Clutch Sports and LeBron guys.
Right.
See, this notion, everybody that played a particular sport that was great, that doesn't mean they can talk about it.
Hello.
We've seen that. We've seen some of the NFL's best players. We've seen some of the NBA's best players. We've seen some of the best MLB players. Can't talk the game of football. Can't talk the game of baseball. Can't talk to and talk it. When I say talk it, put it in the context, the casual, the lay fan, not the hardened fans. Because the thing that people fail to realize is the casual fan that spend their money.
Yeah.
Regardless of the sport, it's the casual. And put it in a term that they can understand.
Yeah. I think what makes it so difficult is those that played the game, that played it especially at a very high level, most of them can't explain it.
Yeah. No.
Most of them can't explain it. That's a skill in itself. Not only be able to play it at a high level, but to be able to sit there on camera and explain it and break it down in a way that not just those that do play it, but those that don't play it understand exactly what you're talking about. That's very difficult to do.
Did you think about it? One of the best football color guys is who? John Madden.
Yeah.
Very simplistic.
Yes.
You got to pull here. You got to pull here. He's circling sweat.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, boom, boom. They loved it. How many Emmys did he win? Charles never goes to the board. Mm-hmm. How many Grammys have Charles won? Because at the end of the day, when y'all want to get down to those heart, it's still the fans want to be entertained.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is what we call a straw man or maybe a red herring or just bullshit. He did not address what Jalen Rose was trying to get at. He did not talk about how many LeBron guys is in the media. He did not talk about that. He went and was like, oh, John Madden wasn't this and that, and he was a great. And that's not the whole basis of what Jalen Rose was trying to say. That is not it. I mean, it is not it, man. Like they missed that mark on purpose. They're not that dumb. They sound that dumb, but they not that dumb, dog. There's no way they're dumb. Shout out to Eddie TV, man. Y'all go and subscribe to my brother over there. His channel is exploding and blowing up. Pause. His channel is doing well over there, man. Good stuff over there, man. Good. Thanks for the super chat, Eddie. And then also my brother Bruce over there at the Format Podcast, man. Y'all go and do the same over there with his channel. His channel is doing great over there as well, man. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to both of those brothers. Shannon can't tell the truth because he's one of the ones Rose is talking about. He knows what time it is, 100%. 100%. That's what's going on. I don't even know. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. He said, are they saying that Rose can't explain the game? Yeah, I mean, like, but see, this is why I wouldn't even go down that road to even try to address what Shannon was saying, because he was so Jalen Rose is here with what he's talking about, right? So let's focus right here, right down the center, right down the middle. This is what Jalen Rose is at. It's LeBron guys everywhere. You know, the NBA media landscape is weak because LeBron guys are everywhere. You just can't get honest conversation no more, right? So that's where he's at with it. Now, he did mention that there was men and women who didn't play the game. He mentioned that was his mistake, because this is what people do when they're not trying to be real, and they'll be like, okay, you made a point here, but you said something, and I think I can attack that way better than the point you were trying to make. So they went and took that people who didn't play the game and went far left with it, and went far left like with aggression, to what a point where you feel like you have to address what they just said, and you never address the point that Jalen Rose was trying to make. And when people do that, I just say, you won that one. I won't even attack that part. Like, you way over there. Let's come right back right here where Jalen Rose was trying to get us to go. I don't even look left or right. Let's stay right here. Let's stay focused. Y'all went shiny object over here, and I'm not falling for it. Why is it so many LeBron guys all over the media, and why y'all can't be honest about what y'all critique is about the game or anything involving LeBron? Right. So that's what Jalen was trying to get them to go. And they wisely avoided it. Right. They wisely avoided it. And I don't blame them. But I'm not gonna open the phone lines up for this one, because I got other stuff I want to get to. Since we mentioned Kobe Bryant, let's talk about him. So Byron Scott and his podcast, I think it's called Fast Break, and he has Odin Polynice on there, and one of the Laker somebody that was with the organization for years, that was there when Magic was there, all the way to when Kobe was there. So I like to listen to them have conversations, especially when they are talking about anything Lakers, because they got a lot of insight. And they did something last week, kind of responding to LeBron James going to the Philadelphia 76ers. And what they had to say drew a lot of attention, because they pretty much said he's team hopping. And Odin Polynice and Brian Scott, they just spoke their opinion about him team hopping. And they talked about people. Hey, thanks, VC. Appreciate it. Yeah, it was a gift. So they talked about a lot of people that was in their comment section, and they read their comments just like I read all my comments. And so many people were saying, well, what about Kobe? Like, you're going to attack LeBron for team hopping, but what about Kobe? And it was like, what about Kobe? Well, didn't Kobe request a trade? Right. So they addressed that, and I'm going to respond to what they said, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on it.
Some of the comments that we got from this last episode was, Kobe wanted out too. Kobe tried forcing a trade to Chicago Bulls at one point. Why criticize LeBron when Kobe wanted to leave as well? And things like you guys are trying to changing history and whatnot. So let's start there. Are the fans technically right, Byron? Did Kobe request a trade?
Fans are technically right. Did Kobe request a trade way back in the day? Yes, he did. And he was pissed. He was frustrated. He never, I'm going to tell you straight up, and Jay can tell you this too, he never was going to leave the Lakers.
Nope.
Now, was he
not once
upset at the way everything was going? Yes. So he figured, let me put some pressure on their ass and demand a trade, and they're going to get me the players that I need to be successful. Mitch Kupchak, who was the general manager at that time, I remember in Orlando in the summer, came to me and said, we need you to talk to Kobe. I had already talked to Kobe, but I didn't tell them that, right? And he basically told me, he said, I ain't trying to get traded, but he's like, B, I need help.
Yeah.
I need help. You know, this man's out there busting his ass every single night, and we know how hard he plays. It's like every game is his last. So he's going to give it everything he's got. You know, so did he demand or request a trade at that time? Yes, he did.
Players out.
All right. I'll stop there. That's halfway through. I'll stop there. So the answer to the question, did he request a trade? Absolutely. I think it was 07. It was 2 occasions where in 04, before they traded Shaq, Kobe was, pretty much was like, I mean, we tried to make this thing work, man. I really want to get from under his shadow. And if I got to leave the Lakers to do it, I do it. So, but before he can even really get into that, they made the decision to trade Shaq and was like, nah, Kobe, we choosing you, young fella. We go go with you. All right, great. Then he go through the years, no Phil Jackson, no co-star that was, of a high caliber. No all-star level co-star. And he pretty much was trying to get it done with Luke Walton, Smush Parker, Mavadinko, Kwame Brown. It was a tough roster that he was trying to play with, and he got frustrated. Like, dude, I done averaged 35, got the scoring title like two times. You know what I mean? I done some crazy things, and I really don't like how this going because y'all. It seems like y'all was saying, figure it out with just whatever. We're not gonna draft properly. We're not going after no big name free agents. We not making no trades, and Kobe was like, man, y'all got me all the way effed up. He was really pissed, and I guess after a couple of times going to the front office saying, hey, look, man, fix this roster, make this roster something that I can work with. And them not doing it, he had to threaten them, right? He had to threaten them. So I was talking to my boy Bruce because, we kind of alluded to some of this on Friday when we had the full panel, and we talked about this. And he brought up the fact that we got to kind of be honest about Kobe because everyone is saying Kobe would have never done that, but he tried to do it by requesting a trade. And my thing is, did he really try to do it, or was he trying to use the trade the trade request as leverage for them to freaking move their feet? It's a difference, and this is the example I gave him. It's a difference between a spouse that see that you ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing, but they don't want to leave you. They just want you to do what you're supposed to be doing. So they are threatening to leave so you can wake up. They don't want to leave, but they're going to threaten to leave. Now, when they threaten to leave, sometimes they actually go and live with their mama for a weekend. I'm taking me and the kids going to my mama for the weekend. They might do that. They might even, be like, oh, I got an appointment with the leasing office. I got an appointment down here to see if I can get this apartment down here. They might go through the motions of leaving because they really need to. They really need you to think that they're going to leave. I really need this person to think I'm going to leave. They might go through all emotions, but the whole time, only thing they want you to do is change the way you're showing up. I need you to change, right? Now you got that person who threatened to leave but never left, and then 20 years down the line, they're married for 20 plus years. Like Kobe was married to the Lakers for 20 plus years. Then you get the lady that in 20 plus years has been divorced 4 times. That's LeBron. LeBron has been in a marriage with Cleveland. Then he went to Miami. Then he divorced Miami and went back to his first wife, Cleveland. Then he left his first wife again and went to LA. Then he divorced LA, and then now he's in Philly. Who knows where he's going to end up, right? Like between LeBron and J-Lo, I don't know what the hell they go end up at. They just marrying everybody, giving that thing up out of both draw legs. He's the whore of the NBA. So what LeBron is doing is the divorcee 4 times removed versus the person in Kobe who threatened to leave one time but never left and stayed with them all the way, and forever. He's still a Laker. Like he's not been anything else. So I don't think that you should ever, or we should ever bring up Kobe requesting a trade but never going nowhere and never wanting to go nowhere. Coming out of the mouth of Byron Scott saying he told me to my face he never planned on leaving. He never wanted to leave. Kobe also said that. But did he go through the motions to make it real? Yes. Because I really need you to make a move. And guess what happened? They made a move and they traded midway through the season for Powell. And they went to the finals. All I need is one guy, man. Give me Powell. All I need is one. Give me a co-star. Right? So it worked. Sometimes you got to threaten to leave to get somebody to wake up and realize what they got. That when they sat down and talked to Chicago and was like, all right, because Kobe said, I want you to trade me, and Chicago is where I want to go. Don't talk to nobody else. So they went and talked to Chicago and looked at that roster. This is the year before they got D Rose. So the best player on that roster was Luol Deng. I don't care how good Luol Deng was at that point. He was a French all-star maybe. He had a breakout season, so everybody was like, oh, Luol Deng is that, he up and coming. But I don't care how good Luol Deng is. Nobody else plus Luol Deng on that roster was worth giving up for Kobe. So they were sitting there looking at that and was like, it ain't nothing on this Chicago roster that we really want. Like draft picks, like there was nothing. There was nothing. Like you would have to go back in time to find somebody that was worth a trade for Kobe, especially at that time in his prime. It would have to be Michael or Kareem. Maybe Magic or Bird. But I don't know anybody else that would have been worthy of a Kobe trade. So, yeah, they did what they had to do, right?
I want to win. You guys, it's not about, they did the same thing. It's not the same thing. Requesting a trade and sitting back going, okay, my boy is over there. We're getting this guy. I'm going to go there because, man, they got the best players. Dude, it's a big difference between the two.
Yeah.
Just saying, hey, and to request a trade doesn't necessarily mean you want to leave. It's like, yo, that's code. Get me some motherfucking help.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, that's why he was frustrated.
Yeah.
That's why he went to the front office and said, get me some help or trade me. Or he might have said, just trade me, and knowing in his mind that he just wants help. And, like you said, that's a huge difference.
And
not one all-star, not one Hall of Famer.
Yeah, and I don't believe back then he was saying, go get me all-stars, go get me Pau Gasol. He didn't say, I just want some quality type players. It was almost like a call to the scouting front office saying, yo, y'all need to do a better job scouting and making decisions. Okay, this ain't working. And so to me, that it was a lot of that. Whereas, again, with this argument that we're having, y'all are going to ready-made situations with 3 all-stars.
So that begs the question, OP, is there a difference between asking your organization to build a contender or leaving and joining one?
Is there a difference?
What's your thoughts?
It's night and day.
Yeah, it's a huge difference. Because
it's night and day.
The one thing that I love what Kobe said is about, LeBron and KD and, those guys going to different teams, something that he would never do, right? Because like you heard him say, he said, listen, if the ship is sinking, I'm not going to jump off the ship and swim to another one. Basically, I'm going to go down with the ship. You got to be there during the good times and the bad times.
Yeah.
But again, that's his opinion. And that's his prerogative.
That's a weird ass metaphor, but
yeah, I know. Jump off the
drowning.
Right. but you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And bottom line is KB was just totally different than most guys that's ever played in this game.
But that's a great point.
And that's a fact. He was different. And a lot of people say that. Dominique Wilkins say that. Mike say that. Magic say that. Bird. It's so many people that say that he was just different. Right, he was just different, cut from a different cloth, cut from the same cloth that MJ, Magic, Kobe, and Bird was cut from. He's just a different cat, and he had the mentality, hey man, I go through the hard times, and he did go through the hard times with LA, 3 years to be exact, out the Shaq, And that's one of the hardest things to do, to go through the hard times after you had the good times. Like he came in, well, crazy thing is he came in and his first 2 years was an internal battle between him and his head coach on him playing like all his rookie peers were playing, like, you know, Marbury and Iverson and Ray Allen and Kerry Kittles and Sharif Abdul-Rahim. Like they were playing right away. The only ones that really wasn't playing right away is probably Nash. It took Nash a couple of years to figure the NBA out, but everybody else that got drafted, especially in the lottery, was playing right away. The crazy thing about it is Tim Thomas came in the next year after Kobe, because he went and did 1 year at Villanova. But Kobe and Tim Thomas, I think, was the same class, and they both, I think one was Philly, one was Jersey, but they both played against each other in high school a couple of times, if not more than that. And Tim Thomas was the number one player in high school, and Kobe was trying to catch up to him, but you know, a lot of people said, yeah, he caught Kobe. Kobe caught him, because by the time, I think Rip Hamilton was around that way as well. And Kobe, you know, y'all heard about the list that he had of people that he was coming after, because when he came over here from Italy, he wasn't that known, and he found out who was the men, and he was like, I want to show all of them. Every time I play them, I want to show them I'm better than them, right? So he really kind of did that. You know, so much so that, you know, he came out of high school and got drafted in the lottery. So Tim Thomas went to Villanova, did 1 year, got drafted, went to Ray Allen's team in Milwaukee, and was their sixth man, and was like getting heavy minutes. He was one of the first power forwards that was like a real stretch power forward. I mean, you could kind of say Big Dog Glenn Robinson, but Big Dog really just went to small forward and like exclusively played small forward. He played power forward in college, but he wasn't that in the pro. Like Tim Thomas came in and really played power forward as the sixth man coming off Milwaukee, and was knocking threes down. He was athletic. He could put the ball on the floor. He could play some deep. Like Tim Thomas was such a good player. But imagine Kobe seeing Tim Thomas come in a year after he came in, and he's getting more PT than Kobe. So his first 2 years was just rough, and then have to dig his way out of that hole, and then go on a three-peat with Shaq and Phil Jackson, just to lose Shaq and Phil Jackson and go back in a rough spot and experience 3 years in there, and then come out of that rough spot and get 3 more championships and get 2 out of those 3 that he went to. That's a really good journey. He said you got to experience the good with the bad, and he experienced the bad twice and the good twice, and then went into the bad again to finish his career after he tore his Achilles, because they never got back up to the top after his Achilles tear. He tore his Achilles and he was out for like a whole season, and then I want to say he came back at the end of the season. He was still kind of, you know, not 100% himself, and then he had a whole summer, and then he came back. I think he played that, and then the next year after that, he announced that this was the last dance and he was retiring. So it was like a farewell tour. You know what I mean? So yeah, and he didn't force them to go out and go get him all-stars and superstars to try to make another run at it. He was like, hey, look, this is it. I'm not the same Kobe no more. I'm on the back end of my career. I done tore my Achilles, and I'm not going to force y'all to spend a whole bunch of money trying to get me help so I can stay relevant. I'm just going to go out gracefully, bow out gracefully. Give me the money you owe me, though, because I took some pay cuts to try to, you know, get some more players out here. I got 2 more years with you, Jenny Bus. And you know, when I announced that this is going to be my last year in that farewell tour, you go sell out all your tickets, and I know you go jack the prices up. Give me some of that cheddar, right? So they gave him another extension, and it was some good money, and he got his money on the back end. Same thing with Jordan. The last 2 years Jordan played with the Bulls, there was a 1 year contract for, I want to say $36 million a year, which was crazy back then. And then he got that contract twice. He got a $36 million 1 year, and the next year he got another $36 million to play the last 2 years. But he delivered a championship in both of those years. Like, I mean, he knew his worth, and he really was worth more than that, honestly. But let me open the phone lines up because I want to hear what y'all think. about the equivalency and the comparison of being divorced 4 times versus threatening to leave once but never leaving, or going to 4 teams and team hopping 4 times versus requesting a trade but never leaving. And actually, you the one who shut the trade down to the Bulls, right? I just want to hear y'all thoughts on if y'all think that is something that we should bring up. Yeah. Cliff, somebody must have said something about Cliff being a stretch 4. Yeah, I really like Cliff as well. Another 6'10", 6'11" dude. Cliff was young with the Blazers, but when he was a vet, I remember when he was on that Phoenix Suns team that was playing, you know, that was pushing the Lakers to the limits in the playoffs. They had J. Kidd at point. They had Penny Hardaway, but Penny Hardaway, this was after all the knee stuff and his injuries, so he wasn't the same. But I really enjoyed that team. So they had Penny, J. Kidd, Cliff Robinson was the 4. I want to say it was J. Kidd, Penny, Cliff Robinson. Sean Marion was there as well. Sean Marion. Dang, I love that squad. Kevin Johnson came out of retirement to help them in the playoffs because they didn't have no backup point. So KJ came out of retirement, but he came out at the end of the season. So he was still trying to play his way back in shape. So they had KJ. Yeah, man, I love, but Cliff Robinson was that go-to player, really. If you really think about it, now I would want to go back and see what the stats was that season and that playoffs. But from watching the games, from what I remember, Cliff Robinson was so good and so polished, man. He was like their go-to guy. So, Nino, what's up, man? What's your thoughts?
What's going on, man? I kind of don't understand how they brought it up, but I don't think it's the same. Like, it really can't be the same.
Yeah, it's really.
Unless they were just saying that Kobe tried to leave his team, and Kobe said he was gonna go to Chicago. Yeah, he said that, but I don't understand what the premise is. I don't understand.
Well, I think everybody is saying, because what Byron Scott said is that Kobe, because remember they was responding to Rich Paul, who said Kobe would understand and he would approve of LeBron going to Philly. And Adam Pollinace was like, dude, you don't know what Kobe would approve. Like, stop bringing his name up, saying stuff like that. Like you can't say that. And you know, and what makes you think Kobe? Like Kobe said, he wasn't with team hopping. But I think Rich Paul is very slick.
I thought he was saying he from Philly. I thought that was what he been talking about.
Nah, Rich Paul,
he ain't talking about team hopping.
But nah, Rich Paul is very slick, and he brought Kobe's name up for a reason, just so the conversation can start and everybody can be like, oh, y'all remember Kobe said that he was going to leave LA? Like he didn't want to just come out and say, well, Kobe was going to leave LA. He didn't want to say that. He brought Kobe's name up and said Kobe would understand. He would understand. And that started everything. And now everyone was like, oh, remember he tried to leave LA when he requested a trade. And so that's how that conversation started. And everybody was reminding everybody, well, Kobe tried to do it. So why would you say Kobe would be against it if he tried to do it? That's their point they're trying to make.
Oh no, but see, I think Kobe just was a cool cat too. He probably wouldn't have a problem with it if, I don't know. See, I'd be confused by the reports. I thought LA didn't have no contract for Brian to come back. So that's what I'm saying. If he didn't have a contract, he couldn't go back to LA. And people, Philly, him going to Philly, now super talented now, but it's not a shoe-in for no winning by no means. Joel, I don't know, Bron, I seen him, he still got a little bit in the tank, but so if they saying like this year he going to a main team, I would hope so. Now, before, if they got criticism of going to Miami, you know, that's Miami. But let's be clear, this Bron here, this ain't young Bron. He can't go to nowhere. I don't know if he my guy now, but I don't know if he tipped the scale no more. like just
They got a good squad,
all the
bro.
way to
I mean,
They do.
without LeBron, they can compete. With LeBron, it don't make it no worse. You know, it definitely is a plus.
No.
It's definitely a plus. So they got a good squad. That's just my assessment on it. It's a good squad. I want to watch them play. I can't wait to see how it's gonna turn
Me too.
out. Yeah,
but it ain't run though. What I'm saying back when if this was 7 years ago, I'd be putting Bron name. I know Bron is Bron. He gonna move it. His name gonna move it. But Joel is Joel able to play? And him and Brown. Now if Joel's healthy, now I can understand what they saying. If Joel's healthy, it could be trouble. But him going, I mean, I don't know where he was gonna go to. Cleveland, they could say the same thing for Cleveland, but I think Philly's better than Cleveland.
I think
Philly. If he went to the Spurs,
I think Jalen Brown is better than anybody that's on the Cavs team right now.
Me too. I don't see. I think he's smart enough to know your boy James Harden.
Oh yeah. You can't.
I ain't got nothing against old James Harden, but he can't. Kobe said you can't win like that.
If I got a choice between Jalen Brown and Donovan Mitchell, I'm going Jalen Brown. If I got a choice between,
I'm going Jalen Brown.
If I got a choice between Jared Allen and Joel Embiid, I'm going Joel Embiid. If I got a choice between James Harden and Tyrese Maxey, I'm going Tyrese Maxey.
I'm going Tyrese.
Yeah. And then by the way, we get to throw Edgecombe in there as well. It's a heck of a squad.
Oh yeah. Now I will say this about Kobe and Lakers. Now this is why I'm not with that. I know y'all with the down with the ship. With Kobe LA, I'm glad he did. But he got I know Steven that we ain't talking bad about Kwame, but they got they robbed Memphis, giving them Kwame Brown. Same thing that Boston gave away KG, but they got Al Jefferson. So I can't really say they robbed him. They went young. But what I'm saying is, if Kobe would have left, because if they wouldn't say, hey, listen, Kobe, you just got one with Swiss Parker, and he left, I don't got no problem with that. Now, if it's the problem with y'all saying, well, Bron did these playoffs, yeah, but I want to be clear where I'm standing at. I wish KG and Ray Allen would have made a move earlier, and we could have got a little bit more great basketball before KG went under.
I don't.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't. I'm gonna tell you why. Man,
that been tough.
Because we need you to make that move late in your career, so we can know where you really stand with the greats before you. Because if Larry Bird came to Boston and Jordan came to Chicago and Magic went to LA and they all stayed there, Isaiah went to Detroit, they all stayed there, and the way to get things done was build a team around me. When I get a contender, I'm gonna go out there and show you what I can do with a contender, and I can show you how long I can do it. And then when I can't do it no more, that means that I have to pass the baton to the next guy, right? So Magic and Bird were both leading their teams and getting the finals and winning. And then when Jordan came along, and Magic, Bird, and Isaiah was winning, and then when Jordan came along and he became the big guy, the king of the hill, they all had to pass the baton to Jordan. And then guess what happened to Bird, Magic, and Isaiah after Jordan got the baton? They never got it back again, and they just went out and rode into the sunset with their team. They didn't try to go team up. Hold on. They didn't go try to team up with everybody and say, "Oh, I still want my time to be now." When your time is done, it's done. Right now, think about all the other players that was great players like Barkley and Malone and Stockton that was also in the league who never got the baton. That is easier for me to see. It makes everything clearer. I can easily see that Jordan was better than all of y'all because he was the one winning all the championships, right? But when you skip the line and say, I'm not going to try to build a team around me, I just seen that this dude could win a championship in D-Wade, I'm going to go join him. Right? When you do that still in your prime, we haven't seen you fail because it wouldn't be no GOAT debate if LeBron didn't team hop. He wouldn't be in the GOAT debate because it'd be very clear that he's not on Jordan's level because he can't win. But when you skip the line and form super teams and jump from team to team and make everything fit around you and all that, when you start doing all that stuff, that's not what these guys did. That's not what these guys did. So you cheating to get accolades and rings. You're cheating to do it, or you taking shortcuts to do it, and it makes the water muddy and we can't see clear. But I can see through it. Everybody else can't see through it. That makes sense.
We gotta push back. It do, but we gotta push back some now. We gotta be realistic. When you talk about, now you didn't say Magic though, but I always say like Magic and Kareem, them is two, and most people part. Now see, I gotta be honest. I've been thinking about this for 2 days. That's all I'm glad this topic. When you bring them two in, I didn't see them play at all. But they and most people that would watch basketball top 5 all time, you can't debate it. But so that would be like one team. But if they didn't have Bird and McHale and other greats, so you can still go up against them, that would be a point. So if Paul Pierce, now the Bron thing that's Bron thing. But what I'm saying, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, I don't think they was ever gonna be in that. But KG could have had those guys and maybe wouldn't get Shaq and them, and it would still been fair. It would have been a top dog thing. So when people say what Bron did, I think Miami was super great team. Now super great players coming together. But to me, the team of Miami was overrated because they just didn't make pieces in there. But you still had the Spurs, you still had the Lakers, Dallas, you still had great teams to play against. Now, and I hate to bring this up, because I know you probably disagree with that. Now, if it's a team that already won the finals, and like what KD did, and everybody say you top 3, top 4 player in the league, and they don't have to lose, but you go to that team, that kind of shifted. But other than that, when Bron has went places, I believe that it was still a great competition to play against.
But that's not the point, though. The point is he wants to be compared to players who didn't do that.
Oh, right. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So with you taking that shortcut and then say, okay, I did the shortcut way. Now compare me with Magic, Bird, and Mike. We can't. We can't.
It's hard to do. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't know where you fall for real, because it would have been clear. Like if he would have stayed in Cleveland and he retired with 1 ring like Dirk did, I think it's very obvious where he falls, because I want you to think about how many points Dirk has scored versus Tim Duncan. What is the only reason why why do we put Tim Duncan over Dirk as a power forward? We got Tim Duncan as the greatest power forward of all time. I think he probably averaged like 17 points for his whole career.
Now, who are we? I'm telling you, if you put that's what I'm saying, and I can talk basketball with you. That's why I don't think that's fair what you said in the first line is fair at all. Because my opinion, and I could be wrong, if you put KG in that same system, and
hold on. We're not talking about KG. We're talking about Dirk. Right, Dirk got more points.
Oh, Dirk too.
Okay. So we got Dirk. Right, we got Dirk. Dirk is a great power forward, but at large, most people got Tim Duncan as the greatest power forward of all time, don't we?
Yes.
Okay, but when you look at the stats, Dirk got way more points than him. I'm about to look it up, and I'm just guessing because let me look at the NBA all-time leader. All-time scoring leaders, and Dirk Nowitzki is at number 7, right? Tim Duncan is at number 23. Tim Duncan has 26,000, almost 20. Let's say 26.5, and Dirk is got 31.5.
Tim Duncan played decent too.
Oh, okay. So that's, but the reason why. All right, so Tim Duncan plays defense. So what Tim Duncan does in the post, on top of what he does on the defensive end, is the reason why he was able to lead teams to multiple championships versus Dirk. So yeah, we can make that make that decision that Tim Duncan is a greater and a better player than Dirk. We can do that. But what if Dirk decided to team hop every 5 years and pick his teams the way LeBron did, and he had Tim Duncan's got 5 rings? What if Dirk gets 4 rings by team hopping?
People would be saying it's closer,
right?
They would be saying it's closer.
They would say it's closer. That's the whole point. If you team hop and get your rings, you can get the same amount of rings, and then we don't know who the best is because everybody look at the rings and be like, well, dang, if they both getting rings, then what they do work. But what Tim Duncan does work better than what Dirk does because he adds defense to what he does. Dirk just got the scoring. That's why he didn't win as much. But if Dirk would have said, man, I'm going to go join Wade and LeBron. If Dirk would have went instead of Bosh, and it was Wade and LeBron, and let's say for some reason Dirk was the number 1 on that team, and they get 3 rings, and then he end up with 4 rings because he team hopped to another team. He went to the Lakers and got another one with AD and Dwight or whatever the case may be. He ended up with 4 rings just like LeBron. We don't know if he's better than Duncan. Same way everybody's like, oh, well, shoot, Kobe got 5, but LeBron got 4. So we go put LeBron over him because he got more points too. That makes it harder to figure out what's really going on because he team hop. So he shouldn't team hop unless he's trying to trick people.
It makes it harder for people that can't see. You can do it because you know how to talk basketball. My whole point being, a lot of these people don't know. They don't got no real basketball context. Because I asked you one day, I said, why is Jordan better than Bron and leave the rings out? You said we can't. Now you did say we can't leave the rings out, but the context that you gave was basketball context, and I was like, okay. Now see, he can talk. He can talk it. If you ask other people that, they're gonna say 6 rings. That's it. So what I'm saying is, you gotta be able to talk more about the context of what you see.
Correct.
In the game. A lot of people can't do that. So you can't, like KG. You can't just tell me Duncan better than KG because he won, boy. I don't buy it. Because I know the Spurs were better organization and team than Minnesota.
KG cold. I mean you can't there's no what. Listen, here's the thing. The power forwards that played in that era is more than a handful of power forwards is on the same level as Tim Duncan. Like, yeah, we say Tim Duncan is the greatest power forward, but KG, Weber, Dirk, and Rasheed.
Weber.
KG, Weber, Dirk, and Rasheed was all on the same level with Duncan. All of them.
Now see, Jamel, I ain't trying to gas you up. But that's different between somebody that's talking about that's actually watch some of these games. I can tell you don't watch some of these games because if I would have said Sheed, like I said one day, people lost their mind and thought I was crazy. I'm like, bro, was y'all watching the game?
Man, I watched Sheed from his first year at Carolina, man. Like, hey,
Chris Webber was stupid.
Chris Webber was dumb.
So what I'm saying is a lot of people can't, and I think that's what, not to go back on the Jalen Rose part, a lot of people can't do that, Mill. I'm telling you, it ain't about, they take the Bron stuff when you break it down, but a lot of them take that, that's all they can talk about. Bron, Kobe, MJ.
Yeah.
They don't know nothing about no Rasheed Wallace, man. So I'm glad you bringing that in there, dog.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Appreciate the call, man. I'm gonna get two more calls in here before I get to the next one because we got a lot we got to talk about. Appreciate the call, homie. All right. The great one said she my dude, but he not on Duncan level. Man, yeah, he was. Yes, he was. Absolutely was on Duncan level. Now, is there a difference? It's absolutely a difference because she was a little bit out of control mentally. That goes a long way. How poised Duncan was. It's a different, but on the basketball court skill level wise, especially with I want you to go back and watch them because they both was in the ACC together, Wake Forest and Carolina. Watch them boys play head to head. Duncan was good. He was great. So was Rasheed. And that continued. through the Portland Trailblazers to the Detroit Pistons. You know, he was always been great, always on the same level. Kid Gravity and Briana, what's up, homie? Carlo, what's up? What's your thoughts?
What's going on? We're going to talk about this Kobe Bryant thing for a minute. I'm going to need your little help because my memory might lapse me. Which one was first? Was it the Chris Paul denial or was it the KG Kobe not answering the phone?
I think it was the. Man, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't remember. I really do not remember. I know the Chris Paul thing was after his 2 championships with Powell. So I think the KG thing was first. I think the KG thing was first because it was before he got Powell. Yeah. So
let's answer the question: why he didn't answer the phone for KG?
Who, Kobe?
Yeah.
I don't know. Was that the story?
Well, KG said the story that he preferred going to Boston. He wanted to go play with Kobe, but Kobe was somewhere, I guess, out the country, and he couldn't get in contact with him.
Yeah.
So, in my belief, and me studying Kobe, and sometimes Kobe can be arrogant. Kobe probably didn't want 2 alphas. He just got rid of that when he asked, for them to get rid of Shaq. He couldn't take another alpha.
That's possible.
So now that's when he gets Paul Gasol. Remember the stories of him telling other teams that he knew, players on other teams, to run through Paul, toughen them up. I need for you all to toughen them up for me. So now we have Kobe Bryant with Paul Gasol, and they was willing to get rid of Paul Gasol for Chris Paul. So let's think if all that stuff would have happened. With Kobe still, which I believe went to 3 state championships and won 2 with either one of those 2 players.
With KG, probably. I mean, he probably would have won more because if KG wasn't in Boston, who was? I mean, the other team that was supposed to be legit was the Cleveland Cavs with LeBron, and he didn't have the firepower. If he got to the finals, he didn't have the firepower to get past the Lakers if they would have had KG and Kobe. I don't think he even could have got past the Lakers if they had Kobe and Powell with Lamar Odom. So yeah, whether that was KG or whether that was Powell, I think he get more rings with KG. He probably, like, they went to 3 straight. He won 2. I think they probably still go to 3 straight, but win all 3. You know, man.
And don't forget the other rumor that Phil Jackson put out there that he asked Jordan to come play with Kobe and Shaq.
I believe
Jordan
that.
Turned him down.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that too. I think what they said is that Mike, kind of understood the assignment. Was like, I don't want to stun his growth, so he didn't do it. And he was retired anyway, so he probably didn't want to come out of retirement. But Phil was trying to get Pippen and Jordan over there. And Pippen ended up going to Portland instead.
All right.
Yeah.
But it's a whole thing about these guys they have to bring up his name to bring somebody else down. And for them to say that he never was considered a GOAT. But how could the man win player of a decade and not be considered in the GOAT conversation?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to talk to those people like that, though. Once you show me a certain part of what you understand and what you believe, that's when I realized, it's a lost cause. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't no we can talk about with this thing.
All right, bro. It was good talking to you. Hey, man, unblock me, man. You or Chris got me blocked. I know I be trolling Chris, but he deserves it sometimes.
Got you blocked where?
On y'all show, Bad George, the truth hurts. Y'all gotta be blocked.
How you watching now?
I watch it on YouTube, but when I type in my comments, they don't come up because y'all got me blocked.
You sure?
Tell Chris, I'm cool, man. I'm sure, bro.
If you was blocked, you wouldn't be able to watch the show.
Now I can watch the show, but I can't comment.
You can't.
Yeah.
What happens when you put a comment? Okay, you said George. George the truth.
Yeah, I can see it on my phone, but I don't see it on the comments on the as the TV I'm watching on YouTube.
Okay. All right, I got you.
All right.
Yep.
Hey, and tell your boy that's down there. What's the guy? I think he's from Boston. What's his name? The other guy you have on the show with the
Bruce?
glasses.
Bruce.
Hey, man, Bruce be tripping, man. Bruce be straight up be tripping, bro.
he'll be
Bro.
back there. He'll be back there Friday for Full Panel Friday.
All right,
homie.
all right.
Yep. All right, let's get one more call, y'all. Then we're gonna move. We'll take one more call. Man, we got a jam-packed show. We still got to get into this cancer stuff, man. I might have to skip a topic. As a matter of fact, yeah, I think I'm gonna skip this Ray Allen topic. Yeah. Shout out to Bruce. All right, that's enough phone calls. Then we'll close the lines up. I was gonna talk about Ray Allen discussing how the analytic nerds kind of destroyed the game. I think I'm gonna skip that though. Because I really want to get to this cancer stuff. Because I think it's just ridiculous. I really do think it's ridiculous. You know what? Let me see what y'all saying in the comments. Jordan the Golden is not close. Kobe in his cancer, Royce White lost their minds. You absolutely right. The Aces game was comedy. Yeah. Hold on. Oh man. All right. So let's go ahead and make this switch. And this was something I wanted to talk about Friday. I know the Aces have played 2 games since then. And I know something else happened in the WNBA really big time night before last with the flagrant foul, the flagrant 2, and Dejanay Carrington getting kicked out. Flagrant 2 on Sophie. Her favorite channel is the BBC. But I want to backtrack and go back to that Aces Fever game because there was a lot that happened in that game. The Fever went up 20 points. Then Jackie Young went on her own 15-0 personal run, cut the lead. I think they went into the half like maybe a 3-point lead. Then they come out and the Aces kind of, even things up and even took the lead. And they could have pulled the game out and the Fever went on a little run. Caitlin Clark hit 2 deep threes, her only 2 threes of the game. I think she was 2 for 10. And they looked like they had the game won. And it was up 2 points, and Kelsey Mitchell gets fouled, and she goes and make 1 free throw and miss 1. So they was up 3 points. But when she missed the second free throw, it goes out of bounds on the Aces because the girl that tried to rebound and save it, they call her foot out of bounds. The replay showed her foot was nowhere near out of bounds. So that was a bad call. But what ended up happening is the ball don't lie. So Caitlin Clark, she gets fouled, goes to the free throw line, and she missed both of them. The ultimate ball don't lie situation. Like the commentators was like, oh, she was not out. That was a bad call, but they don't have any more challenges left. So they just had to ride with it. They fouled Caitlin Clark, who was probably one of their best free throw shooters on the team, and she goes and clanks both of them, right? So they up 3. She misses both free throws. Aces call a timeout, throw an inbounds play. Pass almost got stolen. It's a loose ball. It gets to Chelsea Gray. Chelsea Gray steps back to the left and splashes a 3, goes into overtime. What happens in overtime? We get to the final seconds. These clowns are up 1 point. The Fever are up 1 point with 28 seconds left on the clock. They get the ball to Caitlin. She's bringing it up half court. There was a miscommunication, and Asia ended up getting switched on Caitlin at the top of the key on the island. And the big girl took the guard that was supposed to be guarding Caitlin over to the corner. So it's 6'4" center, Asia Wilson, sitting down in a chair in front of a point guard who's supposed to be dangerous. And it's the defensive player of the year versus King Congress or Queen Congress. And she out there bagless on the island. That's the worst place you want to be. She was out there with Wilson. I don't know if Wilson make WNBA balls, but she was on that island. Tom Hanks was on with that Wilson volleyball. She was out there with Wilson with no bag. against the defensive player of the year and the MVP and the GOAT going one on bum. And guess who the bum was? It wasn't Asia. It was Queen Congress. She showed up with no bag, did a little moves, did a little dance. Asia not even going for it. Then she tried to make her move. Asia reached, moved her feet like she was a guard, stayed with her. Once she didn't beat her off the initial burst, she turned her back. That's when you know you ain't got no bag. Once you try to blow by and you don't blow by, you turn your back. Why are you turning your back? Because you scared to put that ball in front because you ain't got nothing with it right there. So she had to turn her back, and then I'm in trouble. I can't, there's nothing I can do off of this right here. I got my back turned. I'm never gonna be able to get back to another shot. I can't, I'm already in the paint. I'm too close to Asia. It ain't I can go to the paint and get a shot off. It's gonna get blocked. So I can't run back to the 3-point line and start over. So she panicked and just threw a pass as hard, as fast as she could, just praying that it would go to her teammate that was not even open. And Asia blocked the pass and the ball went up in the air. And then Caitlin grabbed Asia's jersey and then she hooked Asia's arm. And then Asia was like looking at the ball, had one hand up looking at the ball. And Caitlin, look how Caitlin got her arm hooked. And then Caitlin was like, like olive oil. Just fainted, just out of nowhere. Calgon, take me away, just fainted. You know what I mean? Like a freaking idiot. Look at her looking for Congress in the crowd, looking for Congress in the audience. Where's Fox News? Where's Congress? Oh my God, where's the commissioner? Call the police. I've fallen, I can't get up. She flops like a fish out of water. A catfish, a pale catfish. She flops. Asia gets the ball, throws it ahead. And the same girl who hit the three to send it into overtime hit the three dagger to win the game. Caitlin was on the floor, pissing down her leg. So that's how that would happen, right? Everybody was like, "Oh my God, that was a foul!" Like it was so embarrassing. Caitlin Clark fans was like, "I can't." You had 8 turnovers. You was 2 for 10 from the three. You was 7 for 20 for field goals. You haven't performed well against no contending team this season. All your great games have been against bottom feeders. We just can't defend this no more. Like I was listening to Clark fans say, I don't know how I'm going to defend this. I got to come up with something tonight. I don't know how I'm going to defend this tomorrow. Like this is what they were saying. Like this, like we can't defend this. We just need to have another game. Hurry up to get to the next game so you can have a good game. Like there was no defense. But the only thing they could say was it was a foul. They didn't call it. She always getting assaulted. You know, the big bad black girl assaulted her. You know what I mean? That's all I was hearing, right? That's all I was hearing. So, yeah, Redden Watson. The favorite channel is BBC for the British broadcasting. What is it? The British and the British broadcasting channel, but it's another word. But we'll use channel for now. The British broadcasting channel. Yeah. So. That's how the game ended. Twitter was going off. Man, we told y'all she ain't the MVP. We told y'all she can't beat these great teams and stuff like this. And so far it's looking like the truth. Oh, it's the corporation. Thanks, Kid Gravity. British Broadcasting Corporation. It's easier for me to say channel. So I'm gonna just say channel, but I know it's corporation. But the British, she loves the BBC. Right. And so does Trump. But anyway, with all that being said, thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. With all that being said, that game should have told you a lot. I mean, it told you like this was a bad game for Asia. Like she was missing. Well, first of all, she didn't go get her shots in the first quarter. In the second quarter, she tried to go get some shots and she was missing them. Third quarter, she came along a little bit. And then fourth quarter and overtime, she took over. But it just shows you so much, man. It's right there in front of your eyes for you to see, and people just don't want to see it. Caitlin Clark fans just don't want to see it. So they lost the game. They dropped to 6. Now they back up to 4. Because they won 2 straight. Good for them. But here's what I want to say. Here's what I want to say about this, right? It was a horrible game for Queen Congress. It was a horrible game. But I want to talk about Mitchell. I want to talk about Kelsey Mitchell because people are finally starting to realize, because she was on fire again. I haven't seen Mitchell really have a bad game yet this season. She's on a streak of 15 to 16 straight 20 plus point games, which is a record in one season. The record across 2 seasons is Asia Wilson with 20. So, between one season all the way to the next season, she's had 20 consecutive 20 plus point games. But the record for one season was 15, and Kelsey Mitchell just broke that and got to 16. So she's on a streak. She's the real MVP of this Fever team and should be in the MVP discussion for the league. I had Asia number 1 the entire season and Olivia Miles number 2 the entire season. I just flip-flopped it. I mean, Asia got to stop dropping these games. Like, winning the games are important, especially when you have head-to-head matchups with another MVP candidate. Like, you just outperformed and outplayed Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark for a win. That's a plus for you. But then you went head-to-head with Olivia Miles, and she got the best of you and the win. That means a lot. Olivia Miles got the best of Paige Beckers, who's another candidate. Just after they beat the Aces, they went and beat the Wings. The one time they faced the Fever, she got the best of Caitlin Clark in that game. So it don't matter who Olivia Miles have played this season. If they're an MVP candidate, she showed up and got the W. That means a lot. So I just put the rookie at number 1, and that's hard. And the reason why that's so hard is because I know how important Asia Wilson is on the defensive end. She's so important as a defensive player. Like, even when she wasn't hitting shots against the Fever, you should have seen the shot she was blocking. And then she made the play at the end of the game for them to go down and win. Like, she's a defensive force. So it's really hard, but winning is more important than anything. So I got to put Asia at number 2, and I have Olivia Miles number 1, and I got Kelsey Mitchell number 3 because Paige Beckers keep dropping games. So I got 1, 2, and 3, Olivia, Asia, Kelsey. I don't think anybody after that even really has a real case. I don't think Briana Stewart got a real case. I don't think Caitlin Clark has a real case. I don't think nobody else. Just those top 3. Oh, Paige, her case is dropping. If I would have to put anybody at number 4, it'd probably be Paige. But she even dropping. She's not on the level of those top 3. Kelsey Mitchell, Olivia Miles, and Asia. Man, they got it, dog. They got it. So, but Kelsey Mitchell, people are starting to realize how good she is, and Stephen A. Smith talking about Kelsey Mitchell and being honest about it. Man, who gave him the authorization to do that?
You can't, as a coach, be giving the ball to Caitlin Clark just because she's Caitlin Clark. Not when you got a Kelsey Mitchell on the floor who is absolutely positively balling for you on a night in, night out basis, shooting better from the field, shooting better from three-point range, shooting damn near just as well from the free throw line, and at the same breath, averaging 3 less turnovers a night. I mean, that's the person, and she's your leading scorer, Kelsey Mitchell. That is the person. When you see somebody producing like that, you got to get them the ball. And I'm not accusing, because it's not like I'm watching all of their games or anything like that. So I'll leave it to those covering the WNBA to really, really dig in and understand why. But when you see the ball consistently in Caitlin Clark's hands, it does make you wonder what the coach is doing. What are you doing? Are you responding to the narratives? Are you responding to the popularity? What are you doing? Because coaching-wise, I'm looking at Kelsey Mitchell, and I'm like, that young lady needs to have the basketball in her hands when it counts most. Let her make that damn decision, because she seems to know what the hell she's doing.
So, yeah, he's not lying. But one thing he did say is, I'm not even watching the game like that. That's hard. That's heartbreaking. That's heartbreaking. There's no NBA being played right now. There's no NFL being played right now. How are you not watching these good games and you got so much to say about it? When Caitlin first got in the league and everybody was talking about, she's not as good as everybody said she was, and they left off the Olympics team, and you and Shannon Sharp had all this nonsense to say. And I kept telling people, they can't be the leaders in this conversation. I know they're not watching the games. They're not. I know they're not watching the games. Why are they so loud and wrong? Why are they telling Monica McNutt that she don't know what she's talking about? You get what I'm saying? That really pissed me off to hear them screaming and yelling at her because she wouldn't bend the knee and change her opinion about Caitlin Clark and her being left off the Olympic squad and her being the best in the league and being the savior of the WNBA and all this stuff. They would just tell them like, look, hey man, she's not like that, dog. We telling you she's not like that. Now 2 years later, now they can finally see that she's not. And you can see how many girls in the W is actually better than her, including the girls on her own team. Like Kelsey Mitchell is such a better player than her. Like it don't even make sense how much better of a player she is. Like it's ridiculous. And these people that just started watching basketball this week, they've been in the WNBA since breakfast, and they trying to have conversations with people who actually watch this game, who actually know this game and know these players. Like this is insane, right? But yeah, he was right to at least acknowledge the fact that Kelsey Mitchell should be the one with the ball in their hand. Like I'm the one with all the one-on-one skill. I'm the one that nobody can stay in front of. I'm the one that can get to any spot that I want to, and I'm the one who can snatch back, pull the mid-range, snatch back, pull the three, get all the way to the cup, throw a runner. I'm the one that can do all of that. So when it's time for last minute shot, I'm your girl. Give me the ball. Let Booby spin. I'm the one that's supposed to be doing that. Not Queen Turnover or Queen Congress. Why would I get the ball to Queen Congress? So, unfortunately for Stephanie White as the head coach, you got so much outside noise about Caitlin Clark that you can't even coach the way you want to coach. Not just her fans that are casuals. It's actually former players like Michael Thompson who can't put his own bias away to honestly speak about anything dealing with Caitlin Clark. Like it's a lot I want to say with that, but I'm not gonna say it. But he can't put his own bias away to what a point. He said, like, forget what the team record is. They're disappointed because they can't see enough of logo threes. I tuned in to watch logo threes. Why she not taking none? Bitch, because her coach is saying take better shots. I hate to call a Hall of Famer a bitch, but damn, bitch, shut the fuck up. Let this girl coach the team. Why are y'all undermining her as a freaking coach? Let her coach the team the way she want to coach. Nobody would be undermining your scoop ball head. You got the nerve to get on the freaking platform, and we ain't seen you call an NBA game or do none of that. Last time we seen you in public was the last time you played for the Lakers, and you pop up out of nowhere looking like freaking Freddy Krueger with his hat off, talking about some fucking, we want to see her shoot 3 logo threes a quarter. Who the fuck is you? Y'all Google Michael Thompson. That nigga, he looked just like Freddy Krueger with his hat off. I'm like, what? 3 logo threes a quarter. You know how many threes that is? That's 12. Are you serious? That's 12 threes a game from the logo. Why the hell would a former NBA player suggest something so damn stupid, man? Like, I'm like, yeah, Clay's dad. Yeah, Clay's dad. I did a show on it. Google it. I did a show talking about Michael Thompson. We want 3 logo threes a game. I mean, a quarter. What? Boy, y'all out of y'all daggone mind, man. What coach want that? A coach is getting paid to win games, but for some reason, everybody that is a Caitlin Clark fan, forget winning the games. I paid for her to shoot logo threes. I want to see her shoot logo threes, and I want to see her just do everything she did at Iowa and just run around like a chicken with her head cut off and do that. And why the hell? Like, the reason why her defense is a little bit better now over the last 5 games is because of people like us that are calling out how bad her defense has been. And she's giving effort now. That's not because of her fans. Her fans didn't light that fire and make her start playing better defense. It was people that was critiquing her. Y'all babying her and saying she ain't got to get better at defense and she ain't got to cut her turnovers down because she got the ball so much. And hey, Magic Johnson averaged a lot of turnovers too. Stockton, if you look at the turnover list, you got Magic Johnson and Stockton. Everybody who handled the ball a lot turned the ball up. Dude, she's leading Earth in turnovers. There's no galaxy, there's no planet, there's no moon, there's no sun with more. There's no bakery with more turnovers than her. There's not even a fat nigga with sleep apnea that turn over more than her. I slept on my back all night last night. Didn't turn over not once. But Caitlin Clark turning it over 8 times in the game. 8 times. We serious. You go turn it over 8 times in the game against the Aces, a playoff team, and it's not even the playoffs. What you go do in the playoffs when they start? You go turn that junk over just like my favorite bakery, Super Mario's, down the street. They got good donuts and good turnovers, but they don't got as many turnovers as Caitlin. She's leading the galaxy in turnovers. There's no planet, there's no galaxy, nobody on Earth, no sport, no quarterback, no fat nigga with sleep apnea turns over more than Caitlin. And that's real. That's real talk. So yeah, Cassie Mitchell is the one. We all know that. Then they announced the Team USA. They announced Team USA, and I noticed some names was left off. So you got Leah Boston there, you got Asia Wilson, Angel Reese. Now let me stop at Angel Reese really quick. I like Angel Reese for her defense and her rebounding, her slashing, her athleticism, the way she can run the floor and all that stuff. She get in position and seal, get the ball. Now, when she get the ball in the post, sometimes you got to be like, oh, what she go do? All right. But she's not horrible, but I'm starting to like Shakira Austin with the Mystics a whole lot more. She's got the jump shot. She do everything Angel Reese do, except I think she don't rebound as good as Angel. But the defense, her being able to handle the ball, go coast to coast, her being athletic to run a floor, like I really like Shakira Austin, man. And I wouldn't be mad if Shakira would have got picked instead of Angel Reese. I wouldn't have been mad at all. Obviously, you're gonna need Asia, right? This is the first year you're not gonna have Britne Griner at 6'7", which is a huge mismatch, right? Britne Griner was a huge mismatch for a lot of these teams they played, right? So you're not gonna have that, but you got size and girth with Boston, and then you got Asia, right? And then you got Briana. I would like one more tall person. Obviously, it can't be Britne because Britne she's just not it no more. But if our farm or Dominique Malonga wasn't from Spain and from France, a player like that would be perfect. I don't know if we got one that we could probably get throw out there, but yeah, so I like this. No Britne Griner, no Alyssa Thomas this year. All right, but you still got Jackie Young, and you still got Gray, Chelsea Gray, and then you got Kelsey Plum, and you got Nafisa Collier and Ryan Hire. I love the Nafisa, Ryan Hire, Boston, Asia. I loved it. Ryan is a 3-point shooter, and she can play D, and she can handle. I love Ryan Hire. I love Nafisa. Nafisa is the second best player in the league after Asia. So I loved it. Now here are the names that are missing. Oh, and you got Paige, you got Caitlin, and I don't know who that is on the bottom right. That's interesting. Who's that on the bottom right? Oh, that's from the Mercury. That's who's my girl from the Mercury? Khalil Copper. All right, so you got clear. I like her athleticism as well, right? So, all right, so you got shooting. I guess you got the shooting with Paige, from the guard spot with Paige. I want to say Caitlin, but I don't know, dog. All right, let's say Paige and Caitlin with the shooting, and then Jackie Young is a good shooter, and then maybe Kelsey Plum. But I don't see like no real sharpshooters like Marina Mabry. Like I would have liked to see Marina Mabry for the sharp. Like we need that 3-point shooting. We need that 3-point shooting. So I would have liked to see Marina Mabry on this squad. And then as far as Kelsey Plum, she deserves to be there. She's good and all that stuff, man. But I really think I would have rather had Kelsey Mitchell there. Kelsey Mitchell is a better scorer, better ball handler, and a better shooter. I really would have liked to see Kelsey Mitchell in the place of Plum. And as much as it's really tough. I'm trying to figure out. I think Olivia Miles deserves to be there as well, but she's a rookie, so I understand it. They left Caitlin off when she was a rookie, so I get it. But you need Chelsea Gray. You need that leadership. You need, just like when Diana Taurasi played her last Olympics. You need Chelsea Gray, so she can't get over. But with Kalia, I love Kalia's athleticism, and the way she moves defensively and offensively. So she's a good slasher. So you don't want to lose that element, but it's very hard to not want Olivia Magic Miles. I mean, she's going to be the MVP this year. Imagine being the MVP and not being selected to represent your country. So that's really tough to leave Olivia home, but I get it. But I think Olivia and Kelsey Mitchell both probably got snubbed and deserve to be on this roster. What y'all think? Y'all would y'all rather see Kelsey Mitchell and Olivia instead of and no school? Yeah. But I don't. Is she? Does she represent another country? I don't know. Has she ever been on the Olympic team? Yeah, I love me some Nafisa Collins, man. She's so good. Yeah, the best player in the league is Asia, then Nafisa, and I used to want to put Paige at 3, but what I'm saying from Olivia is unreal, man. She might be number 3. She might be number 3, dog. And then number 4 is Kelsey Mitchell. So that's probably the top 4 players in the league right now. Asia, Nafisa, Olivia, Kelsey. I might even put Kelsey at 3. But Olivia and Kelsey is tough. You know what I mean? But those 4, and if I had to go 5, if you would have asked me before the All-Star break, I would have said Paige, but I really don't like what I'm seeing from Paige after the All-Star break. I'm like, Paige, come on, man, lead your squad. I mean, she's still good in the bomb, but I'm like, y'all dropping too many games. You know what I mean? So I'll put Paige at 5. Oh, I like Citron as well. But yeah, those are the top 5 players in the league. Top 5. Then 6 is probably still Briana Stewart. 7. I think I only got a top 6 right now. 7 I have to really think about. But yeah, Sonia Citron, yeah, she cold, dog. She really good. See, here's the thing with most of these ballers, right? Especially the ones that went to good colleges. The difference between the NBA is we got a lot of players that come in and play 1 year in college, go pro. And then before they banned coming out of high school, we had players like Kobe, Garnett, and Jermaine O'Neal coming fresh out of high school. So the coaching is a lot of that wild one-on-one stuff that don't get coached out of your game. But if you go play for a coach like Coach K for 4 years, he go coach that out of you. You go show up to the league thinking like Tim Duncan thought. Look how easy it was for Tim Duncan after 3 years. I think he did all 4 years at Wake, 4 years of college, get to the pros, and he can take over a game or he can fall back and play in the system and let somebody else take over. Same thing with Rasheed. Rasheed could take over a game, but he could fall back and, hey, I'm just going to play defense rebound. You hot. You doing your thing. So that's when these kids go play for UConn for 4 years, they're getting great coaching beat in their head because they're playing with other great players, and Gino is teaching them how to coexist with good to great players, and it's not all about you. And you got to do the little things. You got to cut slash. You got to set screens. You got to develop your game in the post. Sometimes you got to go high post, low post. Sometimes you got to flash to the middle in the zone. Like, you got to play off ball. You got to play with the ball. You got to play defense. You got to box out. Like, they're coaching so much good stuff in you. By the time you get to the league, you don't have that takeover mindset where I'm just taking every shot and everything is all about me, right? You're a tame horse at this point. And then you get somebody like Caitlin to go to Iowa who didn't have to share the ball with nobody because there was no other 4-star athletes on her team. It was just her. She was the one. So she had the green light to do whatever she want. They didn't even coach her turnovers out of there. Like, they didn't say stop throwing those wild, retarded ass passes. She's still doing them in the pros 3 years later. Like, she's been averaging 5 turnovers a game since her freshman year in college, bro. It didn't even dip. It just 5, 6. Her whole 4 years at Iowa was 5 turnovers a game. Then she got to the league and it jumped to 6. Now it's at the lowest it's ever been in 7 years. It's 4.6. It's probably back at 5 now after she had them 8 turnovers the other night against the Aces. But she just turned the ball over like crazy. They didn't even coach turnovers out of her. They didn't coach that badass attitude out of her. They didn't coach her to play defense. She's just now getting coached to play defense every possession. And now she already got a reputation of being a horrible defensive player and a cone, and she don't understand why every time she try to get a little physical with people, they call a foul on her. Once you get that reputation that you can't defend, you don't get the benefit of the doubt no more. You got to show me that you're a good defender over a period of time, and then we might give you the benefit of the doubt. But they didn't coach nothing. They didn't coach no bad habits out of her at Iowa. And now Stephanie White got to be the bad person and coach bad habits out of her. But Sonia Citron went to a prestigious school, and she played with Hannah Hidalgo and Olivia Miles all on the same squad together. So think about what she had to share and what she had to sacrifice, and she knows about that. So these people, these girls get in the league, and they don't have that takeover mindset where everything needs to be on me. So a lot of times you'll see them let the game come to them. And some games they might turn into we win, but I only get 12 points and 5 assists. But Caitlin would never do that because Caitlin is all about jacking up threes and like every shot is she taking 20 to 23 shots a game sometime, and half of them be threes. Just jacking them up. These other girls is like, that's a bad shot. I've been coached for 4 years that is a bad shot. I'm not taking it. I can get a better shot. Right? So y'all got to remember that as well, because that's why sometimes y'all don't see these girls going out there to go and get it and make themselves look good. What about the foul on Dejanay Carrington, the flagrant? I personally thought it should have been a flagrant 1. I know any contact to the head or neck area is a flagrant, right? You can't make contact to the head or the neck. I thought it should have been a flagrant 1. But they said, definition of a flagrant 2, they said there was wind up and there was follow through, and she didn't go for the ball or whatever the case may be. So flagrant 2 is really intentional. Like I meant to hit you in your face. And plus the wind up in the follow through. I don't think it was follow up or wind up. I think she went for a block shot and she didn't get the block and hit the face. And And people understand that when it's someone that they don't want to rag on, because when Caitlin Clark did the same thing against Jordan Canada when she played Chicago early this year, same chase down, layup, went for the ball, missed it, hit the face, knocked her right on the ground. Canada did not jump up and try to fight her or none of that. She took the hard foul, realized that she went for the block and missed and got my face, and that happens. And there was no commentators like Rebecca Lobo and whoever the other guy was that was like, oh, no, that's a flagrant 2 right away. Like, as soon as it happened, that is a flagrant 2. And what you got to understand, and I'm going to say something that's probably going to be hard for a lot of people to hear, especially if you're a white person watching my show. You probably don't want to hear this, but bias can be conscious or unconscious. Like, some people know they're being biased and some people don't know they're being biased. Now, how can you have unconscious bias? Well, if I see a kid fall off of a bike, just because I'm compassionate about people and kids, it's going to hurt for me to watch that. But if I see my kid fall off the bike, it's going to hurt. It's going to touch a whole different part of my heart. It's going to be totally different. It's going to hurt if I see anybody get scrape their knee and fall off the bike. But if I see my kid do it, that's a whole nother thing. So what happens is, whatever you're biased to, and everyone's biased to their own personal situation. My family, my kid, my spouse, my mom, my sister, my brother, my cousin, my good friends, people I know, I'm going to have a closer attachment and a heartstring attached to them. So if I see them going through it, I'm going to feel it. If I see them going through something that might not be like intentional, I'm still going to probably feel a certain way and feel like it's intentional. So I say all that to say this. Having Rebecca Lobo call the game, she's already sensitive to the fever and Caitlin Clark and all that stuff. She's already sensitive to that, right? She tries to hide it, but it comes out. The bias comes out. So whatever happens, when you see Sophie Cunningham go for a shot and you see this black girl come and hit her in the head, the same black girl who had issues with Caitlin Clark her rookie season, and you see they hit in the head, you start to personalize that. That pulled at your heartstring, Rebecca Lobo, and whoever that male co-host, the male host that was with you, that was calling the game. Their personal thoughts and how they felt about Sophie and how they felt about Dejanay, they came out straight up. Oh, that is a flagrant 2. It was not a flagrant 2. That's got to be a flagrant 2. She's got to be out of here. But if you show them that same play that Caitlin did on Jordan Canada, they wouldn't have seen a flagrant 2. And I want to know why. Now I don't think Rebecca Lobo is biased on purpose, but it's very hard to see someone that look like you and you not sympathize with them more than you sympathize with the person that don't look like you. That's for a person that's not trained to understand their biases and then not let their biases play a part. I'm trained in that. That's my profession. I went to Dominque. You can look that school up. They pulled all my biases out to the forefront, and I'm able to put my biases in the bag and objectively look at everything, not just sports. Now, that's what I do for a living. So I understand when I see people using their bias just by how they talk. I get it. And they were 100% biased. 100% biased. So, no, it wasn't a flagrant. Then the bias came out again when the referee gave Caitlin her tech. Yeah, it was margin of contact, but Caitlin pushed that referee, right? It was a fling. It wasn't a violent push, but it was a fling. It was a disregard. And she wanted that foul when she was going baseline, and she got contact on the baseline, almost went out of bounds, threw the ball away, and just, didn't try to avoid the referee, went right into the referee. And then when she bumped the referee, then the fling came like, move, get out of the way. But she was already mad she didn't get the foul. And the referee took offense to that. And we've seen that before. We've seen Jordan Crawford give Tim Duncan a tech for laughing. We've seen Rasheed Wallace get a tech for staring at Jordan Crawford. Right. So intimidating or disregard for a ref or disrespect to a ref. Remember when they used to clap and David Stern shut that down. Don't clap after you get a call. We see that as disrespect. That's a tick. They don't want you showing up the refs in no type of way. And we've seen Caitlin get in referee's face and talk to them like they're her kids. Right? So anyway, my whole thought on the flagrant foul, I thought it was a flagrant one. I don't think she should have got kicked out of the game. What you mean she hooked on? What was she supposed to do? She went for a block and she hit her face. Like what was she supposed to do? What you mean she hooked her arm? I mean, it's a flagrant one. I said it was a flagrant. It's a flagrant one. It's not a flagrant two. I don't think it was worthy of being tossed out of the game. You know, so all right, so who was this 757 bad news? Mel, you tripping? She hooked her arm around her neck and head. How can it be around her neck and her head? Which one was it? That was called correctly. Okay, so which one was it? Neck or head? Now let me ask you this: when Sophie Cunningham jumped up and jumped in Dejanay's face, and then took a swing at Dejanay and hit her in the neck, what do you call that? Was she be tossed for that? Because the rules say if you throw a punch or you throw a swing at somebody, even if you miss, and she didn't miss, she actually hit her in the neck. Do you think Sophie Cunningham, 757, do you think Sophie Cunningham should have been tossed out of the game for making contact with her neck? I'm not biased. I'm just calling it like it is. Like even when Caitlin Clark hit the girl the same way, it should have been a flagrant one. I just don't think it was a flagrant two. I don't understand where the bias is coming at. I think it was a flagrant one. You think it was a flagrant two. I don't think it was a flagrant two. I don't. So you saying Sophie Cunningham should not be kicked out of the game for making contact with her neck? That's what you're saying? That's interesting. That's interesting. He said it's biased because I don't agree with him. I'm biased to the truth for sure. I'm biased to the truth, and I thought it was a flagrant two. A flagrant one for sure. I didn't think it was a flagrant two. All right, let's get to this Enes Kanter nonsense, and this will be our last topic. All right, so Enes Kanter, and we now know that also Royce Wright, two former NBA players. Enes Kanter was drafted. I think he played 1 year at Kentucky. Pretty good center. He got tossed around the NBA a little while, and he kind of like phased his own self out of the NBA with his, his rants about LeBron and Adam Silver and all of these people that was, anything dealing with China. I think something was going on with China and it wasn't Ukraine. That was I can't remember what the conflict was, but he was for the people that everybody was trying to demonize. That's fair. But the way he went about it and calling out LeBron and saying, "Oh, you with Nike and you with China and all this," it was a lot. And I think that's probably I think he's probably blackballed from the league. We don't want that distraction, and it is what it is. It's their prerogative. They blackball people every day, B. So that's where he's at. And then Royce White is a player that played at Iowa or either Iowa State. Really good power forward that had, he passed like a guard. He can handle the ball. He could post. I really like Royce Wright game. I really did. He got drafted by Del Moore with the Rockets, I think. But he had a severe fear of flying. He had real bad anxiety and some other disorders, and he just fly. He couldn't fly. He just couldn't do it. He didn't want to. So whatever team that he was playing for, he would have to catch buses everywhere. And that's hard to do because you would have to miss back-to-backs and all that. So there's no way you can just bus it everywhere. and get where you need to go with the type of schedule the NBA got. So he didn't last long in the league, but I really wanted to see him succeed because he was a good player in my opinion. I really like Royce Wright. I wanted to see what he could do in the pros. But we didn't get to see that. Then he started UFC or MMA type fight, and he started doing that. And now he's in the politics and he's trying to run for Senate and all that stuff, right? I say all that to say this. They both got some political stuff with them. They both got a whole bunch of political stuff going on, right? And now they both are saying that they want to declare themselves as female and then put their name in the hat for the WNBA draft next season so they can join the WNBA. But we all know they trolling, and it's disrespectful. But we're gonna have a conversation about it because I got a couple things I want to say. This whole thing is political. That's why I said it at the beginning. This whole thing is political, right? But let's listen to Enes Kanter try to explain what he's doing and why.
After careful consideration and reviewing the current eligibility guidelines, I am officially declaring myself a WNBA prospect. If simply declaring who you are is all that's required, then I meet every single requirement necessary to compete in the WNBA. My team and I have carefully examined the WNBA's eligibility criteria and governing framework surrounding self-identification and inclusion. Based on the current guidelines, I can and am officially declaring my eligibility for the upcoming WNBA draft in May 2027. I am definitely not here to mock, make fun of, or disrespect any community or personal choice.
That's not true. You're not trying to transition. All right, so let's break down some stuff. So he's saying he's declaring himself a woman. Let's stop there first and foremost. So he's all right. So he's trying to troll the notion and the thought that if I think I'm a woman, then so am I a woman, right? You know, but the WNBA is not the one who said that. Like WNBA has not put a definition out there and said whoever says they're a woman is a woman. So you're coming at the WNBA on some stuff that's politics. Like this is politics. This is how the left and the right fight. They pick a cause that we should not even be caring about, and they pick a side of that cause that their voter base would get up in arms about, so they can motivate you to vote them in office. And we got midterms coming up, and this is just the latest thing that we gotta throw out there and grift. Right. Let's rile them up and remind everybody that, hey, we on the right, we are not for the trans. Those Democrats on the left, they for the trans. So vote for us. Meanwhile, gas prices is high, bread is high, insurance is high, medication is high. Everybody's making less money, people losing jobs left and right. Like everything is in shambles. We don't have a plan to make your life better. However, I can get all the Christians to back us because of this trans stands we're taking. And I can get all the people who hate the woke and hate trans, gay, LGBT, like all those people that don't like that. I can get y'all to vote against your own interests. I can get you to vote against your own interests for this one issue right here. This one thing right here, trans in sports, and we can run our entire campaign off this, and we ain't never got to tell you how we about to fix this country. And people will vote because they were like, wait, this person supports the trans? Get out of here. I'm a Christian. I'm going over here. I'm voting for them. What? They support trans and woke? Oh man, I'm a white guy. Why would I vote for wokeness? I'm going over here. So they will go out and vote against their own interests and set their kids up for failure. They will go do that for one issue like that. That's how dumb we've gotten as a country. That's how dumb we are. And they're just riling you up. How do I know this is political?
And I'll tell you what, if I were ever, I'd be the greatest women's basketball coach in history. Because I don't like LeBron James. I like Michael Jordan much better. But I'd go up to LeBron James. It doesn't matter. I'd say, LeBron, did you ever have any desire to be a woman? Because what I'd love you to do is star on my team that I'm building up. I will have the greatest team in history. They'll never lose. Nobody will come within 70 points of this team. Now we have to change that, and we have to make it okay to talk about it. You know, the young lady I was talking about is afraid to talk about it. She's shunned and she's canceled when she talks about it. This is crazy. Right, Kellyanne?
He's about to run. Like all these people that want to get voted back in during the midterms, and they're going to be, that's their message. Hey, we not woke and we don't like the trans. Vote for us. And it's going to work. It's going to work. This is insane. Like, why the hell would the president be caring about what's going on with trans? And that's not even a trans person in the WNBA right now. And there's never been a trans person in the WNBA. Trump, when he got in office, he had already put a ban on trans playing in high school, college, and then they put the ban on trans in the Olympics. Like, this is a non-issue. And they're making it an issue. And notice all the people who are a part of either MAGA or the Republicans or the right or people that follow Trump, they're the ones who are making this trans thing an issue. And like they asked Sophie Cunningham the question, and she's the one who said, protect women. Well, you don't really care about protecting women because you support a president who grabbed them by the pussy and who tried to hide the Epstein files and who's all in the Epstein files. Like, we know this is not really about protecting women. And what are you protecting them from? There's no threat. There's no trans trying to play in the WNBA, and who the fuck cares? So they, like, all of these people, like, if you look at everybody who's on one particular side, and if you follow social media, I don't care where you at, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, X, IG, whatever, they're the ones who's tweeting about all this trans stuff and who keeps pushing the Royce White and the Ennis Cancers stuff out there. They're the one to keep talking about, see what you just did. Now, they the one who's doing this troll. They're the one who keep pushing out there. Everybody else is like, man, what the hell are y'all talking about? Like, this is idiot. This is dumb. So what it is you got a war or a political battle between left and right, and they on the opposite ends of the trans conversation, and they're just running out of places to have this conversation. And now they was like, oh shoot, that's the WNBA. We've already politicized Caitlin Clark, and we've pitted Caitlin Clark against LGBT, Caitlin Clark against woke, and we just use Caitlin as a proxy. We just use her as an avatar against everything woke. We just use her. And we're using the WNBA platform as our chessboard to have a battle with the right or the left, I'm sorry. And now they found another, the trans, we just bring the trans. So y'all remember the movie Alien versus Predator? That war between Alien and Predator was, they've been fighting that war forever all over the galaxy. They found a neutral site on Earth. Let's go on Earth and let's keep fighting. They came to Earth and fought. Everybody on Earth is like, man, wait, we ain't got nothing to do with this war y'all got going on between each other. We ain't got nothing to do with that. But they came on a neutral site turf, which was our planet, and battled it out. That's what the left and right politicians are doing, or the people who are on the political sides. They chose the WNBA as the battleground to have their little trans fight, their little war. They're going to have that on the WNBA platform. And the WNBA statement after Ennis Cantor and Royce Wright came out there trying to make nonsense and say all that stupid stuff is they said, we don't want to be your political pawns. He said, to everyone who loves the game, the WNBA represents 200 plus individual people with different lived experiences, cultures, lifestyles, and opinions. We embrace justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion, which is DEI. They hate that. Those are the values that unite this union and allow it to protect women's sports while creating transformational change. Okay, so boom, let's stop on that first paragraph. Now, mind you, they ain't said nothing about no players. People from different walks of life can be the people who work in the coaching staff, the training room, the WNBA front office, the people who clean. Like, you know, imagine all the people you come in contact with in this organization. They can be from different parts of walks of life. And the WNBA players and the WNBA as a front office, the only thing they're trying to do is realize that, listen, we got so many walks of life amongst us. And these people are proud about who they are, whether they're gay, straight, or bisexual, whatever the case may be. Yes, there is a good percentage of gay and lesbian in the WNBA, and they understand that dynamic. So why would I say something to alienate them? Only thing the WNBA is trying to do is not say nothing that's going to alienate the people that's part of their organization. And they keep getting asked questions. Well, what do you think about trans? And what do you think about this? And what do you think? Because they want someone to make an official statement to alienate someone that's part of the WNBA. And they're just saying, we don't want to alienate. We don't want to say nothing about trans people that's going to hurt them. That's it. That's the bottom line. But why not make a statement? They're mad at Caitlin Clark because she won't back up Sophie Cunningham with what she said. And they kept asking Caitlin Clark, and somebody actually got on their Fox platform and said she's a coward because she won't speak up about what she's standing at with the trans. Because remember, if they can get Caitlin Clark, who's a prominent figure in the WNBA, if we can get her to say something against the trans, then that's a huge point. That's a logo 3 for us. If we can get Caitlin Clark to say it, we can come back to the left and be like, look, we got Caitlin Clark, who's one of the faces of the WNBA, said that she don't even want the trans to play in there. That's a point we just scored on y'all. That's how they're approaching this. Little kids. Right? Second paragraph, hate, abuse, and demonization of any person or group of people, including transgender people, only fuel fear, division, and harm. We will continue to have hard conversations, but we will not be used as political pawns. They understand that they're being used as pawns, political pawns. Please, can you say something against the trans community? Please, we need you to say something against them. We're just going to keep asking people until somebody in the WNBA say something negative so we can go with it. So far, only Sophie Cunningham has done it. Everyone else that they ask is taking the high road and saying, like they asked Gabby Williams. She said, hey, look, I'll be open to it. But they're just answering questions in a way because they know they're trying to push them in corners and they're trying to get statements out there so they can use that as an attack against other trans people and attack the left and poke them in the eye and say, see, like it's nonsense. Like they need someone so bad to say we don't want trans in our game, and it's not even an issue. It's not like we got a line of trans people trying to come into the NBA. It's such a non-issue. That's not even anything about trans people in their CBA, and that's the loophole that they're using. The WNBA does not have a public-facing specific policy regarding transgender athletes. So that's the issue. What the WNBA states is that this league is for women, and they don't define what a woman is because it's freaking common sense what a woman is. And they don't have a transgender policy because we've never had a trans try to join our league. Everyone just understood that this is a women's league. So if we need to create a transgender policy, okay, we'll make a transgender policy. We'll make one if there's transgenders that want to join our league, we'll create a policy so they'll know if they are eligible or not. But to try to make it seem like that the WNBA has a definition of what a woman is and they have a transgender policy and you're abiding by their policy and their definition is retarded. That's not what they're doing. They're using someone else's definition of what a woman is and somebody else's thought about transgender, and they're trying to force that on the WNBA. The WNBA doesn't have a policy. So this is lame what Enes Kanter and Royce Wright is doing. This is like, these are grown men. This is the dude that's trying to run for city that's playing games like this. This dude went and bought a wig, took a picture and be like, it finally came. My wig finally came. I just want to play with my queens. This is a grown man that want us to put him in our government to work for us. And this is the type of time you're wasting. This is the type of nonsense you're doing. But they got their marching orders from Trump. You know, I guess in between the time where he changed his pamper after he shitted on himself, he was able to put that message out there, and these people got their marching orders, and that's what they doing. That's what they doing. And I'm like, man, this is nonsense. Like, why are we even entertaining this? I'm gonna leave y'all with this example right here. I did 22 years in the Navy. And you know, in the military, everyone has to shave. Clean shaven. You can't have a beard, goatee, none of that. You can have a mustache, but you know, it's got to be in regulations. You can't have it connecting. And you know, it's regulations with it, right? But every day you got to shave, clean shaven. Now, for people with curly hair, when you shave every day, at some point, that hair, like if you keep shaving it, that hair, when it grows back, sometimes it don't really get to the pull where it can come out, and it curls up under your skin. And when it curls up, that's when you get bumps, right? So people with curly hair mostly are people of color. Like, people of color have curly hair. We don't have straight hair that often, right? So that means that's a medical condition, because that shit hurt when you got razor bumps all over the place. So they have it to where if you go and see a doctor and they see your razor bumps, you can get a chit or a permission slip. We call it a chit. You can get a no shave chit to where you don't have to shave. And so a lot of times there'll be a lot of brothers walking around with a no shave chit and they got a full beard, and that will make people that wasn't black a little bit jealous, because they couldn't get a no shave chit because they didn't get razor bumps. So every time they try to go to the doctor to get a no shave chit, they're like, nah, you don't have the condition. But black dudes could get it. So they always thought that was unfair that black dudes walked around with full beards, but the white guys couldn't. Like, that's a foregone, that's a joke in the Navy all the time. Like, man, brothers always got the no shave chit. I can't get one. But they thought that was unfair. No, dude, it's your hair is not, you don't have razor bumps. I got them really bad under my chin, and that shit hurt, right? You can't shave on top of a freaking bump. How am I keep shaving bumps every day? And they get work, they spray it. If you keep shaving, they spray. I seen people whole face bumped. It's insane, right? Right. So anyway, I said it to say this. Around the time, I probably say about 2015, they came out with a religious exemption for people that didn't want to shave. So if you was like Muslim, and I know a lot of Muslim people don't shave, they don't cut their beards. You can get you could put in paperwork to get a religious exemption to where you didn't have to shave. So when that instruction first came out, now mind you, before that, they didn't have a religious exemption instruction that allowed that. Just like the WNBA don't have anything about transgender, right? They just got, hey man, if you're a woman, you can play, right? So they gotta define everything to make it, put it on paper. But so when the religious exemption came out, all the white guys that always wanted to no shave chit just started, and I seen it. I've seen people looking up online religions that requires you not to shave your beard. And they will find a religion, and you can Google this. There was a religion called the Return of the Spaghetti Monster or something like that. They call it Pastafarian. It was a made up religion somebody made, and they, kind of like Scientology. It was Pastafarianism, and they freaking came up with all this religion, and lo and behold, they said you can't shave. So that was a bunch of boys that came in and thought that they was gonna put in paperwork so they can get religious exemption so they wouldn't have to shave. Now, what am I supposed to do when you work in a loophole? I know you work in a loophole. Number one, I know you trolling because I know that's not your religion. You just looked it up. But at the end of the day, I can't tell you what your religion is. You can convert to any religion because you had a real experience and was like, oh my God, like, you know, God spoke to me and now I prescribe to this religion. So I can't tell a person that they didn't convert yesterday to a religion. I can't do that. But I'm not no freaking idiot. I know the only reason why you're doing this is so you can work this loophole so you don't have to shave. I know that. So there's a dilemma. When you watching someone work a loophole, but technically on paper, you can't deny them and you know they're working a loophole, what are you supposed to do? So when Enes Kanter and Royce Wright is trying to work this loophole and you know they bullshit and you know they full of shit, do you let them work that loophole or do you freaking use common sense and say, get the fuck out of my face? That's what I did. When they came to me with that paperwork, I was like, I'd rather get in freaking trouble for denying you than allow you to do this nonsense under my watch. Get the fuck out of my face with that bullshit. Get that paperwork out of here. You're not no fucking Pastafarian and you better have your face shaved tomorrow. Get the fuck out of Chief's office. Now go tell somebody. Now go run tell that. I get in trouble for that. I get in trouble for that. Yes, I will. You can write. You can go talk to whoever you want to talk to, but you're not doing that shit in my daggone division. That's what I did, and that's what I would do if I was Kathy Engelberg or anybody in the front office for the WNBA. I see you in this Canada. I see you, Royce Wright, but respectfully, shut the fuck up and get out of my face. We're not even entertaining that nonsense. On with our regularly scheduled event. I wouldn't even entertain it. No, you're not. Listen, I'll pull all the owners in and say, you know, they bullshitting. Let them put their name in the hat in the draft and let them sit in the freaking green room and go undrafted. Right? Let them go in the green room and go undrafted. Let them get that Shedeur Sanders treatment when we knew he was supposed to go in the first round and he went in the fifth and we thought he wasn't going to get drafted at all. Let him go undrafted. Let him get the Antonio Brown treatment where he's supposed to be a first ballot Hall of Fame, but he probably won't even get in. He's eligible in 2027. He won't get in because he's a freaking nut. Let him get the Cam Newton treatment where he's out of the league at 32 and they start Mac Jones over him in New England. We know Mac Jones can't hold a candle to Cam. Let him get the Kaepernick treatment. He should have been playing in the league. Hey, nah, you ain't playing no more, dog. We just, as owners, we just not gonna sign you. And it ain't nothing nobody can do. If Kathy Engelberg and the owners get together and say they trying to make a mockery of our league, they go embarrass you. You try to play me, you play yourself. Don't draft them. You can join. We'll even put Royce Wright. You will put your name somewhere in the free agent list. You're never going to get picked up and signed. We're going to collude. Yes, the same way that the NFL colluded against Kaepernick, we're going to collude. We're not drafting you. We're not signing you. We're going to let you come try out and everything. That'll be the only time you taste the WNBA court. You come try out. We'll invite you to training camp, all that stuff. And then guess what we're going to do? Nah, dog. Yeah, it just wasn't right, dog. It ain't the right fit. It ain't the right fit. Look at Kennedy Carter. She deserves to be in the league. But she's a locker room issue. She was out of the league for a year, almost 2 years. Somebody gave her another shot and she still wasn't getting it right. All right, she's done. Can she go and say, I'm about to sue the WNBA because I'm good enough to play, but nobody will sign me? No, she don't have a leg to stand on. If we don't want to sign you, we won't want to sign you. Conduct detrimental to the team, conduct detrimental to the entire league. You're making a mockery of the league. You're trolling us. We're not going to let you do that. So, yeah, Royce Wright, Enes Kanter, hey, we'll see you at the draft. And we're going to see you go undrafted. That's a fact. That's a fact. In fact, send them to the EuroLeague. Oh, wait, they don't want to play with grown men. Leave it to the girl to get mad and create a new religion. Yeah, man, y'all can Google it, man. It's Pastafarianism, man. I think it's Return of the Spaghetti Monsters or something like that, man. I was like, man, y'all done got it. Y'all done lost y'all fucking mind. But that is my religion. Get the fuck out of my office. Go tell the chaplain. And as a matter of fact, that's not even a recognizable religion. It's a list of religions the military recognized. That's not even one of them. So y'all even looked up the wrong religion. Y'all so daggone racist. Y'all couldn't even pick Muslim. Y'all could have picked Muslim. But the second I seen your ass with that bacon at Chow, get up out of here. Go shave. You ain't no damn Muslim. Look, I mean, I just ain't got time for the nonsense, dog. Like, dude, I lose my position, lose my job before I play freaking games. Kathy Engelberg, they call them for your job. They want you fired in the first place. Let your nuts hang. Come out and embarrass them. They trying to embarrass your entire league. Come out and embarrass them. Oh, yeah. Just come out and say, listen, we accept. See you at the draft. And that's all you got to say. We're working on a transgender policy as we speak, but even if you make a policy, I don't know if it has to wait to the next CBA to include it, because y'all just agreed on a CBA with the players right now. So I don't know what the process is to add something. Well, I guess they could do it all the time, because a lot of times they change rules and they don't wait to the CBA, the collective bargaining negotiation to change rules. So I guess it's a way to do it. But yeah, so if they want to create a policy for transgenders, I think they should do it, announce it. And we're working on a policy for transgenders. And as we speak, we'll have it ready by the time the draft gets here. And but as of right now, we accept Royce Wright and Enes Kanter and anybody else who wants to declare for the draft. We accept we accept it. And then we just wait to the draft and you go on and draft it. But this is also what you're supposed to do. All right, I go back to the military again. So I just gave you the example of how people try to work loopholes and how they try to work loophole for the no shave shit, right? But we also had a transgender policy as well, because so many people were saying, I want to transition. And now, the policy used to be don't ask, don't tell when it comes to you being same sex or, LGBT or whatever. It was a no, don't ask, don't tell policy, because before that, if we found out you was gay, you get kicked out. But that's discrimination. You're kicking me out because I'm gay. That's discrimination based on my sexual orientation. All right, so we're not going to discriminate against you, but this is the military. So don't ask, don't tell. If you're gay, just don't say nothing. We don't want to see it. And then they changed that and was like, oh man, it got to the point where they was like, all right, we'll allow it. You can be gay in the military, but we're not doing you can't do your weddings on our chaplains. We can't do it in the church, whatever the case may be, right? So and then it evolved to the point to where now we have a transgender policy. And what I remember about the transgender policy is, if you identify that you want to transition, there was a whole lot of red tape you had to cut through. And it included, not limited to, because I can't remember everything, but it included, number one, you had to go through counseling. And it was like a 6-month process of going multiple sessions with this counselor, and that counselor had to deem you legitly like that counselor had to determine whether you really want to transition or not. Like, you go in and you go, I really feel like I'm the opposite sex. I really want to do this, but they want to make sure, because it's sad, but a lot of people force themselves and rush into getting sex changes, and they get that thing chopped off and get it smushed in and turned into a moon pie. And then 2 years later, they realize I made a mistake, and you can't get your meat back. And then the suicide rate is very high for people after they transition physically. So this is something you got to be very sure about. So after you go through all that counseling, and they say, yeah, this is a good candidate, I really, I stamp it Yeah, I think that he or she really wants to transition and they're a good candidate. Okay, so now that is done. Now you got to do a whole bunch of other stuff. You know what I mean? So I mean, like, it's a lot of stuff. Like, or you got to go through a name change, and now you got to get new uniforms, and now you got to get your stuff changed. Like, your stuff got to get changed in DEERS, which is the database that got all our information. Like, you got to do all of this. We got to change you from male to female and all of this stuff. And then, are you trying to get the surgery? And if you want to get the surgery, the military was paying for it. But before you get to that surgery, it's going to take about 2 years. Like, all that counseling you got to do and all that other red tape, it's going to take about 2 years before you can actually transition and actually change your gender in the system. And then wear a female uniform, and then, then cross dress, and then, get the surgery. And then now you got to do the amount of push-ups that the girl got to do. You don't have to have the regs that a man got to, it's different. So all of that stuff changes. Then we say you're a girl. So if the WNBA was smart, we'll come up with a transgender policy. And when you do all of this right here and you transition, then we'll consider you a woman. Do all of that. Get that thing chopped off. All of that. You got to go to counseling. I need somebody to actually tell me if you bullshitting or not, because we all know that you bullshitting. Like, we all know it. But yeah, I would do all of that if I was Kathy. Phone lines are open. Call in. Let's talk about this flagrant foul and everything. Everybody who had something to say, let's talk about this Ennis Cannon nonsense. But I'm pretty sure we all know that they he is a weirdo. We all know that they don't really want to transition. We all know they don't want to transition. He just want to wake up and say, "Oh, I'm a woman. Let me get in the league." No, I don't work like that, homie. Caller from Utah, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, man? You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm good, man. What's popping?
Nothing much, man. Hey, the Ennis Cannon, I was in the chat, man. First of all, you got one of your people with the wrench in the chat. They gun ho on that doggone timeout button.
Really?
They real gun ho on that timeout button.
All right.
But what I was trying to say was that overseas, you heard about that transgender player over in France.
Yeah.
So there's a push where they want the WNBA, fans want the WNBA to offer that guy a contract.
That's not true. Fans don't want that.
There was a headline. You got it. Well, you're gonna have to. I seen a headline that said that.
Yeah, the fans.
Not the players, but fans.
No,
like
are they from Fox News or are they real fans? You get what I'm saying? Like, are they? Is it Fox News? Is it right?
It just said fans.
Right. So you got to be careful of what a source and where their information is coming from. Like the trolls are not just Ennis Cantor and Royce Wright. The troll go all the way to the White House. They all trolling. Everybody on the right, everybody Republican. Like, this whole thing is part of what their plan is to get people reelected. Midterms is coming up very soon. This is all a hoax. It's not. Even if they do want that, even if fans really wanted that French trans to come and play in the WNBA, it's one person. It's one person. But I'm
Yahoo Sport. That's where I seen it at.
Yeah,
Yahoo Sport.
This is fake, dog. Like these people are trolling, dog. These people are trolling. The dude, look, I seen the dude in France that played. The dude Like hey, listen, you know how dudes we already got
He's sorry.
But listen,
Hey, look.
but we already got a high level of testosterone, so we can be cut up.
Yeah.
This dude look like he's on steroids.
Yeah.
You know
And
what I'm
Mel, he not really that skilled. That's the thing. I watched some highlights. I was like, you know what? This dude is not really that skilled, but just because of his size and how physical he looked, yeah, he averaging 20-20. I think he got all kind of awards. And I was like, yeah, I could see how he could be dominating over there like that.
Here's the trick to this whole thing. On one end, you got people that's trying to make this a big deal for political reasons, and it's not a big deal. They're trying to make it a big deal, and they can't get enough people to talk about it. They tried to get Caitlyn to talk about it. Somehow they got to Sophie, and she talked about it, but they trying to make a big deal out of it. And every time they ask somebody about it in the WNBA, they won't give them the answer they're looking for. Because they trying to make this a big deal. They keep taking the high road because they want them to condemn trans people. And they keep answering the question like, we don't want to discriminate against trans people. Like, we're not going to say nothing bad against trans. That's all it is. They just want trans people to be treated fairly. They're not saying, hey, please, trans people, come play with us in the WNBA. They're not saying that. They're just saying, when you ask me if I want them to play, I'm not going to say, no, they don't belong here. I'm going to say something nice about them because I know that you want me to say something wrong and pile on them. Right?
Yeah, you got to play.
Right.
You got to play that game.
Correct.
You got to play that game because we all know, like, behind closed doors, that we don't want no biological men in the WNBA.
Correct. We don't.
Like,
and if you make yourself eligible, ain't nobody gonna draft you. That's the easy fix.
Yeah.
We're not gonna draft you. That's the easy fix. We're just not gonna draft you. But they just trying to make a big deal out of it, and it's not a big deal. It's a non-issue.
Yeah.
Don't let them trick you and this is a political.
Well, I'm watching it because we never know. We never know what it. I'm gonna just sit back and watch because it's gonna be crazy if they do offer that transgender a contract for the WNBA.
Who gonna do that?
I said I'm gonna sit back and watch.
Yeah, but if you own the Chicago Sky, which is one of the worst teams in the league, would you offer Enes Kanter a contract?
No.
Right. You're not gonna make a mockery of your league, dog. You're just not gonna do it.
No.
So I mean, it's a not.
America, the way America is, man, you never know, man. There's some crazy stuff going on over here.
Yeah, you're right.
You can't never say never. That's all I'm saying, Mel. You can never say never. Because you might, next year, you probably be like, damn, they actually did it. You might be like, God damn, they actually did it. Shit.
Yeah.
But I hope they don't. But look, the aces, man, let me tell you something, man. Caitlin Clark and Sophie, man, the fact I had to tell this white guy at work, because he came up to me. He finally got the heart to come up to me and was like, hey, man, you watching the WNBA? I said, yeah, I watch it. Man, that Caitlin Clark, man, she's they got to do something, man, because she's the reason why people watching. And you know what I told him, Mel? I looked at him, I said, no, she's the reason why you and your people are watching. I said, I've been watching the WNBA. I was like, Caitlin, I said, the white community didn't start watching basketball until Caitlin Clark. Now, all of a sudden, Caitlin Clark in the WNBA, oh, she the face now. She saved the WNBA. No, the WNBA was always getting better every year. You know what I'm saying? it's y'all community that's watching more now. So that's why it seemed like the numbers are conflated, basically.
I mean, that's a fair point. I mean, anybody that say this is the only reason why I'm watching,
yeah.
The only thing I say to them is, oh, so the basketball didn't draw you in? Like one player drew you in, not the basketball.
Exactly. And, you know, he was like, man, don't say it like that. I was like, no, that's just how it is, though.
Yeah.
It's like, me and you never talked about WNBA basketball. We never talked about it. And the first thing you're going to come up and say is, yeah, man, we got to do something about them, the way they playing Caitlin Clark. Look, man, get the hell out of my face, man. Get out of my face. That's how I see it, man. Like, and the thing is, who really makes it a race issue?
That's a good question.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
who really?
So this is the first time it became a race issue dealing with Caitlin Clark. When
actually in Iowa.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So her junior year, when they got in the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 and Final 4, and they had to start going to go face like the UCLA, or not UCLA, but the South Carolina team or the LSU team. Those were the powerhouses, right? And
I'm from South Carolina, Mel.
Yeah, so I want to say UCLA played South Carolina first, before South Carolina played Caitlin Clark, right?
Yeah, with the big girl.
And that's when I want to say the New York Times, and I'm like, man, how the heck the New York Times writing about a team from UCLA from LA? But that's when they came out and was like, they called South Carolina the dirty debutantes, and called them bullies and all that, because they knew what was about to happen. They knew that the South Carolina had the better players,
our defense,
the bigger girls,
the way we play defense.
Yeah, they bully and all that stuff. So they made it a race issue because they knew UCLA was coming and about to be outmatched, and they got ahead of it, and start calling them bullies. And I think that kind of plays into the mind of how they officiate games, because if you want this to be a good game and you got one team that's physically outmatched, you got to let the team that's outmatched get away with a little bit more to even the odds a little bit. And that's what they did. South Carolina still won, but then they did it again against Iowa. I mean, and this Aaliyah Boston was on that South Carolina team. They let them get away with murder against Aaliyah Boston. But it was a race. It was a race thing in college, and then it really exploded. People was calling South Carolina thugs and all that stuff, and it was just crazy. Same thing with LSU, and then LSU beat Iowa, and then Angel Reese did the "You Can't See Me," and that's when it went from covert to
it took off.
Overt racist issue. I mean, you had Portnoy calling this girl idiot and all types of stuff they were saying, man. It was insane. And it's been a race issue since her junior year.
And you know what, Mel? Before that whole thing with South Carolina, how they started demonizing our girls, before that, I had them been hearing the noise about Caitlin Clark, and I had them been watching her a little bit. And I was like, you know what? This white girl is pretty cold, and she talked trash. I said, oh, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, see, you got to stop her. You know what I'm saying? Like, she talked trash. Mine, nothing about race, because I play ball. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, hey, this girl is talking trash. She going out there, she dropping points, she backing it up. I'm like, hey, I ain't got no issue with it. But then, like you said, when that whole thing with South Carolina and Iowa hit, that's when I started looking at, I was like, the media is messed up, man. The media is messed up. And then when the Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark thing happened, that's when I realized too, like, okay, this is what they turned it into, because Caitlin Clark had them been barking all through the tournament, and it was considered, this is the game. Hey, the swag. It was considered swag. That's what they were saying. It was considered swag, and then she got a dose of her own medicine. Now, Angel Reese gets demonized. And I was like, man, the media turned it into a race issue. They turned it into a race issue. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad because you really don't have the only integrity in sports media right now. I don't know, maybe there are some people with major platforms that are on TV, but is platforms like Man Down Sports, the other brother that you have on here sometimes. And there's a few others that I say, the integrity is there, but as far as like ESPN and Fox Sports and the other giants, there's no integrity in their coverage.
Nah,
anymore.
It's a wrap. Yeah, it's a wrap.
Yeah,
man.
So I appreciate what you do, man. I appreciate what you do.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that's the good. Hey, tell that brother, tell whoever got that wrench, man, stop being so gun ho, man.
he trying to look out for me, man. If he doing too much, let me know, man. I talked to whoever it was. Is it Horizon?
That's the only one I seen in there that could have did it.
Rich Dog.
Because all I was saying was, I believe the talk about that transgender over in France might have something to do with, you know what I'm saying? That's what I was saying. And I didn't know if you knew about that or not.
Nah, I saw it, man. I mean, but it's just like it's really a non-issue for me, man. Like those things have a they really work themselves out in a lot of cases. Like this is not even this ain't even a hard thing to even realize and figure out. Like this is simple. Just all they got to do is make a policy. Oh, they don't have a policy on transgender. Okay, we'll create a policy and we'll publicize it. Easy day. You know what I mean? And don't pay no attention to no freaking trolls like Cantor and Royce, right? Like this is like.
Nah, I already knew what they was doing, man. Like you said, Royce, you running for office,
grown man,
and you first off, I'm surprised there ain't nobody pulling up your big three, the way you act in the big three. You know what I'm saying? That alone right there. Didn't he get kicked out of a game?
Yeah, he got in the fight with Josh Smith. But look, listen, ain't nobody taking no Royce Wright serious, man. Like, come on, man. Like, he trying to follow a playbook. Like, he ain't no different than Offensive Tatum. Like, they're the same dudes to me. And anytime you following Trump's talking points, man, you are a straight up
Offensive Tatum is in a, I don't know, he kind of left he done took way off now, man. He out of this world with it now.
Oh yeah, I mean, it pays well.
He got the crown right now.
Yeah, it pays well.
He got the crown.
Yeah, it pays well though. I couldn't do it though. I couldn't sleep at night doing what he does, man. I really couldn't. But he sleeps well. So, but you know,
hey, do you think he started out like, yeah, this pays well? But it's something telling me that he is actually like get out, like he's stuck, like he. Something telling me that brother is gone.
No,
he's gone.
I think he got a taste of failure, and the first thing that worked for him was this grift. Yeah. Like even with the Hodge twins, like, you know, I wanted to know where they came from. So I went to their YouTube page and I went to the first video they ever made. And I see how they started on social media, and they started like being like bodybuilders. They gave
working out in the gym.
Right. They gave tips and stuff like that. And they both had like a office job, and they both got laid off the same day. So they both was married with kids, and they got laid off. They had no job. And it was, that all they had was this social media stuff. And they was like, we got to make money somehow. And they just kept doing their thing on YouTube. And then one day they blew up, and they really blew up talking about the conservative stuff. Cause they used to then be conservative. But they blew up doing that, and they haven't looked back. Like I felt what it was like to be jobless with a family to feed and not knowing how I was gonna get my next meal. And when I went this route, everybody embraced me. Everybody subscribed to me. I got money out of the. I'm famous. I got money. Why would they turn their back on the people who made them rich?
Yeah, that's just like the Cartier family. They started out just doing reviews on like songs and movies and stuff, and then out of nowhere, boom, they hit the big griff. I said, man.
Yeah, that's what it is, man.
Yeah,
that's what it is, man. Appreciate the call, though, homie.
All right.
Yep. Let's get one more call on this Ennis Cancer before I end the stream, man. We almost at 3 hours. Sheesh. Let me get one more call. Let me get somebody to disagree with me about Ennis Cancer and the trans. I want to hear a different opinion. Let me see what I got in the comments. Nah, we don't need no Bird and Magic rivalry. We don't need no race stuff. We don't need no race stuff in the WNBA. It's out of control, man. People can't handle it, dog. Caller, what's up?
What's going on, McMill?
What's good, man? What's your thoughts?
I can't disagree with you. I know you want somebody to disagree, but I might have a little bit of an alternate point.
Okay.
I do think that this, I know it's political. As soon as I heard the crap, it's political. I'm like, dude, what you want to play with the WNBA for? You're a retired NBA player. It doesn't make any sense, But the way to fix it, like you said, is for them to just put in a policy. They don't even have to publicize. They can just quietly have their HR team write in a policy that states something along the lines that you have to be a natural born woman or whatever, and it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I want to offer an alternate point, and I'm going to step out on a limb here and say that I do think that there's first of all, there's every job has a qualification, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't even get on a ride at a fair without being a certain height to ride the ride. You can't be in the WNBA unless you're a woman because it says WNBA. Can't be in the NBA unless you're a man. Just because I can play ball don't mean that I can play for the WNBA because I'm not a woman.
Mm.
I think that every job has a certain qualification, and I think that trans people understand that, right? And what I mean is, if you're going to be an accountant, well, it's not gender specific. Because an accountant is not gender or even age specific. You just got to have the skills to do the job. IT, same thing. A lot of jobs are the same thing. However, even in everyday workforce, if you want to work at UPS or certain jobs that require delivery, they're not gender specific. They do say you have to be able to lift 75 pounds repeatedly over your head without aid, right? There's certain requirements for the job. So I don't think transgender people, at least I hope not, are so sensitive that they would feel slighted by not being allowed to play in a woman's league if they were a natural born man wanting to play in a woman's league, or vice versa, a natural born woman that transitioned into a man and wanted to play in a man's league. I don't think they should feel slighted. Now, it may be an opportunity for them to create a transgendered league. There's an opportunity for that. As Black people, what do we do when they wouldn't let us play in baseball? We create the Negro League.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
so I think that
there was enough of us to create a Negro league. I don't think it's enough trans that play basketball to create a league.
And there may not be, and there very well may not be. But again, we got to stop trying to cater to the fringe. And when I say fringe, I'm not trying to excoriate or the transgender community or the LGBTQ community. What I mean is we got to quit trying to cater to a small percentage of people. Life is just simply not fair, and equal opportunity does not mean equal results.
Now,
so
I don't know. I don't know if they're necessarily trying to cater in this scenario with transgender community. I don't think they're catering to them. They're just trying not to be part of the crowd that is excluding them. So they're not opening the door and say transgenders to come in so we can show y'all how much we love y'all. What they're saying is, I don't want to pile on them like the crowd is doing. So when
I agree with that.
Yeah. So when they ask them, hey, what do you think about a transgender playing in your league? Hey man, I'm all for it, dog. Next question. Like, because what they want to hear is what Sophie Cunningham said. They don't have no place in our league. So we can poke fun at the trans again, but they don't want you either. Nah, they're just trying not to be part of the crowd.
Gotcha. And that makes sense.
Yeah, that's it.
And I do agree with not being a political puppet. You know what I'm saying? Like me personally, like I said, I feel like every job has a qualification. Sometimes it's gender specific, sometimes it's weight or height specific, but and everything is skill specific, right? You have to have the skills for the job, unless you're Briana James, but that's a whole different story. You have to have the skill to get and maintain the job. So I think trans people, they're intelligent enough to understand that they're not ignorant in that regard. But I do agree that it behooves the WNBA to not take the bait, to not say stuff that would be inflammatory, to give the left or the right, in this case the right, talking points for election purposes.
Correct.
And I hate it when people say keep sports out of politics. But politics always seems to want to get into sports. I mean, that's hypocritical. That's double, come on now.
All the time.
Let's keep it the same across the board.
Y'all
don't want LeBron. I don't even like LeBron James. I used to like him as a player. I respect his game, but I'm not a fan of LeBron James. I'm not a fan of his game even anymore because it hadn't grown since he hit the league. But if you're going to tell that, but I gotta say this, if you're going to tell LeBron James to shut up and dribble, well, Mr. President, Vice President, whoever else, shut up about the WNBA and the NBA. Y'all don't want the athletes to talk politics. We'll quit putting politics in the sports. It goes both ways.
It sounds fair to me. Yeah. Sound fair to me for sure, man. Appreciate the call, Arkansas.
Sure thing.
All right, man.
All right, later.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna end the show, man. I appreciate it, man. Hey, I might get in here again tomorrow. It's a lot more to talk about. I might get in here again tomorrow, man. So appreciate everybody for being here. Hit the like button, hit the hype button, hit the share button, leave all the comments you can. Rewatch if you want to. You might have missed something, man. We'll catch y'all again. And you'll probably see me one more time this week, and then you'll see the full panel on Friday. Don't forget to head over to Man Down Sports Football channel. Just type in Man Down Sports Football. You'll see us over there. We got 2 shows over there. So go check us out over there. And football season should be legit and lit. Hey, and if anybody want to join us in our Pick'em League, email me your email address, and we'll send y'all the link so y'all can join us, man. I really want to see who can win this league, man. And we giving a championship belt away to the winner. So y'all shoot me the email, officialmandown@gmail.com. Shoot me your email, tell me you want to be part of the league. We'll get the link to you so you can join, and then you got an opportunity to play with us and then win that belt. All right, man. Until next time, peace.